Hey guys, I just wanted to share my skin routine.
Shut your fucking mouth! No problem, John. Shut the fuck up, you cunt! Shut it!
I came to laugh at you.
Where the fuck are you? Huh? It's Shopper Reed here. Now it occurred to me there might be kiddies watching, yeah? Hello, kiddies. Fucking hello. Hello.
Fucking hello indeed. How are we doing, boys and girls? It's that time. It's that time. Now, before we do it, I do have to say, Lady Gravemaster, are you a Tom Hardy fan by any chance?
Absolutely.
Have you seen Bronson?
No.
He's naked in that scene that I played. 2 seconds
I'll
after
be
that-
right back.
Yeah.
You hear how
okay.
she smacked the table? She was like,
Done. Points.
yeah.
Oh, boys. But what is up, boys and girls? Hope you're all doing well. Today, we're going to be praising an incredible show of a faithful adaptation of a mediocre series known as Halo. Psych. This show's fucking trash, and we're going to be breaking it down and destroying it. But I have an awesome panel. I am joined by the amazing, the beautiful Lady Gravemaster. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing well, thank you. How are you, Lethal?
Third drinking. I've gone full heathen. I'm doing Jameson and pineapple juice mixture. Yep, it's gonna be one of those. Damn. What about you, Mike? How are you doing, Mike? Good to have you here.
You know, dude, I was fine. Yesterday was kind of a good day, and then I literally, the way I ended my night was with watching the Halo episode. I was told not to, but I did. I wanted to be fresh.
You're the one that's most fresh of seeing it.
Yeah.
Do you understand why I yelled at you?
Yeah. I watched it 5 hours ago. I am not even exaggerating when I said it actually ruined my night.
Oh my god, I believe it. The wounds are still fresh for you. I swallowed this hard freaking like poison laced whatever this was. What, Thursday, I think, is when I instant lethal. It's like, have you seen it? He's
Dude.
like, yeah.
Yeah, it's like getting kicked in the face and then being told to thank you for it. Like, I don't
Yeah. Now it's an objective fact that getting kicked in the balls hurts more than giving birth, and this was like getting kicked in the balls like 5 times.
It is not objective. Just because you don't want to do it again doesn't mean it doesn't hurt more.
Yes, it does. But anyway, let's get the chat open before we get into a big argument. From the top, I see Ben. He says Virgin Queefs. That's one way to describe the show. Yes. Last Toxic Male is here. Boo. Jacob Ironside. Good day. Is it nighttime? For me, it is currently 1:10 in the morning. Yeah. Scarlett, the beautiful Scarlett, is here. Good to see you, Scarlett. Prime. Hello, Prime. How are you doing, sir? Lethal exists, can't keep a good one down. Winter Hands, yes, welcome. You, if you didn't know, Lethal Lightning no longer exists. That channel got taken down, so we've migrated over here. Studying a Brave Megatron, good to see you, sir. Trey's here. Hello, Trey. Brightest day. Oh shit, here we go. Yeah, that's the one. Jade Shadows here. Hello, Jade. How are you, Mara? Good to see you. Arkansas's here. Hello, Arkansas, mate. Hope you're doing well, man. Disparu. Disparu's here. I wonder how much shouting there will be. Oh, well,
Cheshire. I pronounce it right. See, the Dragon of Cheshire.
The Dragon of Cheshire. Disparu, I know it's late notice, but if you want to come on, let me know, man. Let me know. I wouldn't mind having you on. It'd be good to get your take as well. Where are we at? Have I missed anybody? Harry Potter is presumably existing in some place glowing a bit or something. Well, I would trust your take on Harry Potter because you are an expert. BLT's here. Fuck, that looks good. Hey, all, how you doing? Arkansas becomes a channel member. Thank you very much, sir. Really appreciate that. He becomes Mad Lad. You mad lad. Thank you very much, Arkansas. Appreciate that. And Sergeant Herbs did message me on email. I don't know if he's spoken to you, but he has. Yeah. Alex is here. Good day, Alex. How you doing, sir? Fucking Mozza. You got a fucking staring problem, you dog. G'day, Mozza. How you doing?
Fucking guy, dude.
Does anyone want to yell at Mozza while I've got him highlighted?
Motherfucker, dude. I don't even have the energy to yell at him because I'm so bummed out. But like, you fucking dog.
How's my little purse puppy? How you doing, Mazza? Don't worry.
Just-
I'll carry you in Destiny. It's fine.
I won't. You shouldn't carry him anywhere. That's a problem. That's how you get diseases.
Jeremy 5. Good day, Jeremy 5. How you doing? This track is banging, yo. That is a remix, a synth remix from End of Evangelion. Yeah. John Connors. Oh shit. Yeah, I feel like Shah watching this Halo show.
Hold on. How do you pronounce Evangelion?
Neon Genesis Evangelion.
Oh,
That is
Oh.
not at all how I have ever said it.
How do you say it?
not like that.
Neon Genesis Evangelion.
Even
Evangelion.
Evangelion. Yeah, Evangelion.
That's what I said.
Evangelion.
No, Jellion. You're saying Gillian. You're doing a hard G instead of a soft G.
Yeah, you got. Yeah, that's like doing the hard R instead of the soft R.
No, it's not the same thing.
It's
I think this
basically
is an
the-
accent thing. Vistara, how everyone? How the fuck are you? Pretty sad, to be honest with you. Andrew, good day, Andrew. Hope you're doing well, sir.
Yes, everybody
blah,
should
blah,
sim for lethal.
Yes, it's good for you.
Hmm.
Epic Mike had to sleep on that shit. Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Bro Grim. I used to be a Jameson and ginger ale guy. Then I went straight Jameson. Then I quit. Fucking oath, man. I can control my alcohol. Yeah, my condolences, Mike. Dr. Coffinails, good to see you. Rookie Critic with a 5 through super chat. Thank you very much, Rookie.
Nice.
Lightning strikes with lethal force. What might you guys have called this council you've assembled breaking down the destruction of Halo? We will call it the Reclaimers.
Yeah.
There you go. That's in
That's
line
what we
with
are.
Mhm.
Halo. Have I missed anyone? Whiskey Jack. The helmet came off. The whole series is lost. Oh, it was gone before then, Whiskey. It was gone before then, mate.
It was gone in the first 3 minutes.
Yeah, don't worry about that, man. Lethal is saying it correct. What's wrong with you two? Yeah, fucking oath. Mr. Grant Gregory. He understands my accent. Fucking hell.
Ain't nothing wrong with us. We're American, and that's how we say it in America.
The Asia Research Doctorate. Good day. Hi, G. D-Day Direwolf. What up, D-Day Direwolf? BC's here. Good day, BC. I think that is everybody. Welcome. Thank you so much for coming, boys and girls. So before we get into it, I've been ranting about this about 2 days straight, but Lady G, your initial impressions.
Red versus Blue is better,
Fucking spot on.
and it's a spoof. Red versus Blue is a comedy spoof of Halo, and it was better.
What about you, Mike?
The show fucking sucks. It sucks. It's bad. It's not good. What did they do? You know, I actually tried to give it the benefit of the doubt. I was like, you know what? I can't objectively judge it without seeing it fully for myself. Like, how do you, the aesthetics of the insurgents or whatever, the insurrectionists makes no sense. They look like weird steampunky Rust future-y shit, and like I'm like, what sense does this make? We've seen what these outposts look like. These people are not like nomads, and they went for this like weird Mad Max looking thing. The other thing too is like I have no problem with diverse casting. You know, I think that you should be able to, I think anybody should be able to play whatever roles they want. Like, you know, I'm pretty firm on that. I think that, you know, if you cast Denzel Washington as Hamlet, it could work if he's a good actor, you know?
Because he's Denzel Washington.
Because he's Denzel Washington. But like, this group of insurgents is not on Earth. This girl was most likely not born on Earth.
She wasn't.
Probably born on this planet.
Mm-hmm.
There's probably been not just her dad, but generations of people on this planet, because we know that this has been going on a while. We know that this didn't just start happening. But the fact that you still have people on this planet that speak Chinese, You have a Scottish guy with a Scottish accent. Makes 0 sense because you don't have those accents unless you just came from Earth to this planet.
Yes.
It makes no sense. In the future, if you all live on a planet together, you would have your own style of speaking, your own languages, your own style. You don't have diversity like diversity's sake. You have a future where people intermingle and you would have people that looked all different. But the fact is, like, the way that they made these characters look, the way that they did that bothered me right off the gate. I know I'm going to get called a racist for that. Except that's not true diversity. True diversity would be that people on their own planets look different or look the same. But despite all of that shit, the combat, all the fighting scenes, terrible. I've never seen an elite just walk right into gunfire like that. Makes no goddamn sense. It makes less goddamn sense when you watch that they literally fired the turret at the fucking elite point blank range. He took all the shots, didn't move, didn't affect him, and then not even 2 minutes later when the Spartan shows up with a fucking assault rifle, gets killed in one burst. It wasn't even a full clip. It was one burst. Like, it makes no... And then Master Chief, with his heroic ass, grabbing the turret and shooting it at the fucking elites, he kills 4 of them with it. I'm like, they just shot that gun. It didn't work. Like,
but now it's in the Spartans' hands.
Well, yeah, they must.
They got a buff.
They make the bullets stronger or something. Like, it doesn't make me like the plot armor they give the elites to when the Spartans show up, and then how easy it is to kill them makes no fucking sense. Go ahead, Lady Gravemaster, because I got a lot more.
Oh no, I'm completely in agreement with you. Like, it. First, I think someone told me to like say one good thing about the Halo episode, and I was like, okay. The way the kids got disintegrated in the very beginning.
Yes.
That's it. That is it. When I saw that, I was like, like the whole purpose of them being out there. So much is wrong. These kids, like you said, Mike, they would have grown up, been born, raised on this planet. They're not going to go out looking for drugs that can power ships.
Yeah.
Like, no, you're not going to do it. If you're out there harvesting, you're going to harvest for materials to bring back to the outpost so that you can, I don't know, actually have a fighting chance against the Spartans. You don't know that the Covenant's out there. I get it. But like when the kids start to like, that was the best and only good part of the entire freaking episode. And no, it doesn't save the first, like, the argument that I have heard is that the first 20 minutes of this episode is fantastic, and it's the last 40 minutes where it falls off. No, absolutely not. If you know anything about the games, if you know anything about Halo, period, like even if you've just watched your friends play casually, you're going to know that this is effed from A to B to C to Z. Like, it's just screwed. Period.
I will agree the first 20 minutes is the best part, but it's not good.
That's not good.
Yeah.
So it starts on this planet, which I believe is actually created purely for the Silver Timeline. Madrigal, I don't recall it ever being in a book or a novel, but I might be wrong on that. Tier 4 heavy water extraction planet, which is just our way of saying we wanted to do Tatooine because fucking we want to be Mandalorian. And what year is it? 2052.
2552. 2552.
Sorry.
Yeah,
and look at that. Like Mike said, it's fucking Mad Max.
It is.
It's Mad Max.
People, it's nihilism. It's postmodernism. Like, these people cannot conceive a world in the future. They are so, like, even in their escapism, they're so obsessed with this idea that global warming is going to just devastate the world over. There's not going to be a single tree left, that they can't even in their mind conceive of a world outside of ours that has lush forest or rivers or is rich in natural resources. It's just mind-blowing.
Yeah. And like Mike said, it's everyone here is a bit fucking, is this supposed to be a planet or a country? Is what's going on here?
I just don't know it makes no sense. I'm like, what do you that's not even how the insurgents or the insurrectionists work. They didn't just put people on there with like these tiny ass colonies and stuff.
No.
Unless you explain, hey, this was an installation, but then why are they insurrectionists? Because they would a place like that would solely rely on the UNSC to provide them with resources and materials to survive because it's a desolate planet. Like, I don't know. It just was weird. That's the thing. Yes. And that's the other thing I was going to make a point about. Elites, Covenant, they had no reason to go down on that planet. You blast the planet from orbit, you kill everyone, and then you fucking leave. Because that's the process. The reason half the time they don't do that in the Halo series is because Master Chief is fucking up whatever plans they have.
I think, to give them a bit of credit, I think it's because they wanted to go into that cave. But if the item in that cave is so important, they wouldn't just send one fucking Phantom. They'd send a whole Covenant fleet.
If it was important, yeah, you send a whole fleet. And not only that, if it's important, you would have never known the elites were there.
Yeah.
Nope.
They would have never tipped their hand. They would have murdered those children. And of course, the main character gets plot armor because
there's so many times where she should be dead.
Yeah,
Multiple
I'm like,
times.
the elite that just like dispatch the rest of your group like with like extreme prejudice, with like expert precision. First of all, they're faster than you. Second of all, you would have never seen them. They would have never tipped their hand. Most of the time, they would have showed up and chopped all your heads off with an energy sword and left. But like the fact is, and then they all conveniently stop digging for the item that they're looking for.
Yes.
Go and attack these insurrectionists instead of just grading their shit, getting on the ship and leaving. Like, yeah. Yep.
So they're going doing, they're sitting down, they're listening to the TV, and there's this Gronk on TV. There he is. And he was he is an insurrectionist, and he was sent to negotiate with the UNSC. And he's just talking about how Spartans, we should fear Spartans because they're just unrelenting killing machines. This whole episode did a really good job of trying to paint the UNSC as total villains when that's not the case. I mean, there's definitely times during the whole insurrection versus UNSC where established Halo lore does a good point of making both sides sympathetic and humanizing both sides. Whereas this episode just outright wants to tell you UNSC is bad, which in a way is a little bit of capitalist bad on the nose, in my opinion. But yeah, so this Gronk's fucking talking and he's saying all Spartans are scum. We should just be totally scared of them. And that's what they're all talking about here. They're all like, I fought Marines before. I fought UNSC Marines before. And then that old fella. Yeah, this old fella. You ever fought a Spartan?
Like, why is she? I don't understand. First of all, when they say the Bard, who are they? Who are they talking about? Like, because in the Halo series, like, here's why I asked this question. For anyone that doesn't know, Halo is not D&D. Just so we're clear.
Right out there.
We're just gonna, okay, this is not D&D. This is not a tabletop role-playing game. Spartan is a class of military soldiers. Like, they are in the military. Oh, I have so many beefs with that. When we get to the military part, guys, I'm going to just rip it to shreds. But I digress. So Spartans and Marines are USMC, which is it is Space Navy, right? Like, it is a military, what is the word I'm thinking of? Organization. There it is. Freaking.
That's me watching the show. What the
Yes,
fuck?
that right.
Go on, sorry.
Do they think that Spartan is like a class, like in D&D? Like, is that what they think? Is that what I'm concerned that they're going to try and turn this into a role-playing situation? Because there's no, like, you don't get a bard buff. You don't get a paladin buff. Like, there's no tanks. I mean, Spartans are basically tanks, but like, they're also not, because they can take hits and they can deliver hits pretty effectively. So
what the fuck is that on her face? I just noticed that.
It's a scar. Because she's a
It's
badass.
like someone drew her while she was asleep.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, it's because she's a badass and she's fought Spartans, didn't you know?
Yeah. I'm like,
But-
also, you didn't fight a Spartan, because if you fought a Spartan,
You'd be
wouldn't
fucking dead.
Yeah, you're
Yeah,
dead.
you'd be dead. Yeah.
Because that is one thing to keep in mind, is that Spartan 1s and Spartan 2s were originally created well, more so Spartan 2s were created to specifically fight insurrectionists, because there was the war going on before the Covenant. But there's definitely stuff to touch on with that shit that they completely fucking get wrong in all this, but must silver timeline, right? But yeah. But, sorry, go on, Lady Grandmaster.
No, you're fine.
That was on her cheek.
This silver timeline just needs to be smelted down and removed and turned into liquid nitrate. That's silver nitrate. That's what it can become. Silver timeline can become silver nitrate, and I don't know, get put into the Spartans. Like, that's the thing. Like, there's no. Oh, my head hurts. I'm just gonna stop.
Yeah, there's a lot here going on. Just doesn't like this first 2 minutes. We're like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, and like if you're gonna try to do it effectively and as a story beat, then you need to do, like, I think what they were hoping to do was build up this concept that the Spartans were terrifying and that they're scary and there's something to be feared and stuff. But you give so little room for that situation to breathe. You give so little room for that to really settle in, that these people, like, we know nothing about their lives. We don't know what they're doing, how their daily lives look. We don't know how they feel as a group. They all just kind of look like they're sitting around waiting for a Spartan to show up and kill them. And if that's the case, and that's how their lives are now, you still need to give us some sense of family or whatever, because this is a small group of people. This is not a huge group. You know, and if it was a giant city of people, okay, but like, it is a small installation, and literally you have that conversation about Spartans are dangerous and you never survive against them and stuff, and then you immediately cut away, and you don't even really know who the fuck that character is, why he's important. He's not, but you know what I mean? Like, so there's this concept that I think they're trying to throw out there that, like, you should be scared of Spartans, which is an interesting concept because we don't really see much of insurrection. We don't see any really in the game, with the exception of Reach. You know, like,
very
it would
briefly.
be interesting to be in a situation where you go, hey, we're terrified that any moment Spartans could show up and they just wipe the floor with us and kill us all because there's nothing we can do against them. That's a cool concept. It's interesting, but they don't do that. They just, like, leave it. And then they just kind of, like, move on from it as soon as they say
this is what they move on to. This guy walks in. I've forgotten his name, but he's like the general of the insurrectionists on this Mad Max outpost. And he's like, right, where's my daughter? And they're like, I don't fucking know, trying to get high with her friends. So here we're introduced to our main character, Quan Wow, whatever her name is. I can't remember. This is our main character for what is going to be the entire series. Make no mistake about that. Chief is not going to be the main character. It's her. It's her. And for some reason, she's the only teenager in this whole thing that knows how to get high. So all these other teenagers, which have these ridiculous haircuts, who the fuck is the barber in outer space? They need to be fired.
Yeah. Like, what the fuck is up with everybody having a side shave in this?
This is like a bowl cut meets a mullet meets dreads. Like, that's what is happening here.
Yep.
It's you have to have, first of all, bowl cuts should be outlawed. Mullets, you better be Joe Dirt or something like that to be able to pull that look off. And dreads, same thing. You have to have a very, like, in order to make dreads work, you have to be able to not make them look like they're about to fall off. Because if you don't take care of your dreads, which in this location, look at this outpost, there's no way in hell that you're going to be able to properly treat your dreads so that they don't become dried out, crumbling husks of hair.
Dandruff just leaking off them.
Like, there's no freaking way. But they took all of those hairstyles and shoved them together. Why? Diversity? For diversity's sake? Like, what is going on? I don't understand.
No. So we're not even 4 minutes into the episode, and it's already become about picking shrooms. Because Halo's always been about picking shrooms, am I right? Every time I play Halo, I'm like, gosh, I can't wait to go shroom picking again.
Right.
Fucking hell, in space, let's do this. So yeah, she's out there showing all these other kids how to pick space shrooms, which is pretty fucking silly in on itself. And as they find these shrooms, oh, Lady Greymus, you touched on a little bit before what these shrooms are for. They're not shrooms, but...
No, they're not shrooms. So
Shrooms.
These are basically hydrogen bombs that they're about to consume. Like, essentially, that's what they're putting in their bodies.
This is the year 2552 version of the Tide Pod Challenge.
Yes! And Abso-freaking-lutely. Those 6, like, I think there's 6 pods when she pulls it out. I'm pretty sure that what's on there, I think there's 6 pods on there. That is enough to, like, that powers all your weapons, all your equipment, like, shit. Like, the amount of power in those roots is absolutely asinine. If nothing else, you just make a big-ass bomb and blow all the Spartans up with you, because you're insurrectionists, so why not? Like, it's for the cause or whatever. Because, yes, there was a war before the Covenant started glassing everybody. But, like, you're not going to eat them. Also, just point of fact, what's really hilarious to me, all these kids know why they're out here, what they're looking for, what they're doing. And the thing they're concerned about is if her dad finds out that she left the outpost. That's what they're concerned about. If your dad finds out that you left, she's like, well, what he doesn't know won't kill him. I'm like, I feel like they're trying to go for angsty, edgy teenager, and they missed by a lot.
By a lot, yeah. It's bizarro. I mean, I don't know. I wasn't expecting to see shroom picking in my Halo show in the first 4 minutes.
Right?
And there it is.
Yeah. So definitely 3, 4. So maybe, okay.
And this is when they do their TikTok Typod challenge.
There you go. And there's 5 of them, so there's at least 5.
She happens to see a phantom, a Covenant phantom. Now,
which would never happen.
Oh, no fucking way would a Covenant. If this cave is so important because of what's in there, a Covenant phantom would not just be hovering over it for the whole fucking outpost to see. Quite frankly, I don't know how all of them didn't see it when they were walking down there. It's a big ass Covenant spaceship, a phantom, right? Like Mike said, if this cave was so important, there would definitely be a phantom around by, but it wouldn't just be hovering over it. All the elites would be down there invisible, doing what they got to do, doing their thing. And if it really was as important as it's made out to be, they'd already be dead. All these humans would already be dead. They'd be wiped out, and then they'd go in and do what they got to do. But a Covenant phantom just chilling there. It's like a bank robber sitting out the front of a bank, all bellied up in a fucking convertible car, going, all right, I'm just waiting for my friends to run in there and rob that bank. Ah, shit. Yeah. And then they fucking keep going on and on and on. And then they go in.
Can we just also point out? Can we point out? So she sees them, right? If she sees them, that means they saw her. Yep. No way in hell she's getting away, guys. It's not possible. The elites are not. And I know that this is a terrible cliche because it's not how stormtroopers actually are, but that's what Disney has made them. Stormtroopers are not. Or elites are not stormtroopers. They aren't there to just miss. Like, they don't do that. They're
well, and here's the thing, like, just a little like stormtrooper knowledge for Star Wars fans or Star Wars casuals. Like, stormtroopers are not cannon fodder like they are in the original series. Stormtroopers are actually like terrifyingly well-trained elite soldiers, and like. You see a little bit of that when what's his name explains to Luke. He goes, "Oh, these blaster shots far too accurate to be sand people." Like, stormtroopers are actually precision like things. There's a lot of theories that like stormtroopers in the Star Wars series were like told not to kill.
In
Luke
the OT,
and Leia.
they were missing on purpose because when they raid the Taunton Fall, they slaughter everyone. When they attack Hoth, they slaughter everyone.
Everybody.
There's no missing. They like when the Empire shows up, you're fucked. But yeah, so there's that. Even so, to Lady Gravemaster's point, stormtroopers are actually technically elite soldiers, and these elites aren't as good as stormtroopers. Like, but the point is, when the elites show up, you're fucked because they're basically the Spartans of the Covenant. Like, they are nasty fucking dudes. Like,
I mean, how many times have we seen elites kill Spartans?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like holding them by the throat and stabbing them repeatedly.
Yeah. An elite and a Spartan in a fight, like it's pretty even. Except with Master Chief.
What channel it was? There was a Halo channel, a good one that's not a shield, and he was breaking it down. This is like years ago. He had this really good point where he was like, "Look, think of it more as they're on the same level when a Spartan gets his armor. They're not above or beyond. This puts them on the same level." And then we see that when Atriox can just fucking tear Spartans apart like it's nothing. Like, when, at the end of the day, in terms of all the species in Halo, humans are pretty much right down the bottom. And,
Yep.
you know, the only thing humans got going for them is the mantle of responsibility and how they were chosen by the Forerunners. But when it comes face to face, pretty shit, really.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. 100%.
And I think this might be one of the best parts of the whole thing. Is
That's what I'm saying. This is
one
the best.
thing the one positive that I will give this is I do like the gore. I think the gore works really well for Halo.
Yeah.
Like when you're getting shot with like a plasma weapon,
Mhm.
I always thought it would make sense that it would just burn a big hole in a person. And we see that here, and that is pretty good. But
Yeah.
god damn, man. Because of mushrooms. Boom. See like that. That was cool. I will give it that. I did like that.
Yeah.
You know, blood splatters on her. And this blood that splattered on her is never cleaned up throughout the whole
No.
episode.
No.
Not at one stage does she go, get off.
Nope, never. She just walks around
She's
with
a
it on her face.
badass.
Yeah.
Woo! Got my fucking brains blown. And like that reminded me of Predator a little bit.
Yeah.
Like what you're seeing here, chat, is by far the best part of the whole thing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the only
100%.
good part.
But that's a good point too, Lethal. Like, yeah, fighting an elite should feel like fighting Predator. They're not
Yeah.
a fucking joke. Like, they're terrifying. You know, you should be scared to face an elite. And that's the thing. Where are the grunts? Where are the jackals? Like, where are all the
There's only two aliens you see in this, and that's prophets. Well, one prophet, which is
One.
oh boy,
Yeah.
and elites, which is ironic because the battle, I think, would have worked so much better if it was brutes. I think the way they fight makes more sense if it was brutes.
Yep.
But
100%.
I would bet. I don't even like all the change I have in my pocket right now, like including the $20 bill. That the people who wrote this have no idea what a brute is.
oh no,
They have no idea what a jackal is.
This show is called Halo, and there's no Halo in the first episode.
I know. They probably, you know what? It's haircut.
100%.
The haircut.
That is the Halo.
It is the Halo. It's the Halo haircut. They're like, oh, there's your Halo. There's your reference to Halo. They're angels. She's an angel, didn't you know? She's
Modern-
the chosen one.
Weapons that look extremely modern, 500 years in the future. Okay.
Yep. And I'm like, you know what?
Okay.
Maybe I can let you get away with the guns looking like that. Why do they have all the cloth and shit wrapped around them? That doesn't make any sense. You have all these guns. They're not like put together, misshaveled guns. They're like guns. And they're just like, let's just wrap shit around them so it fits the aesthetic. But
Wait.
also
I
the
need to
aesthetic
play
doesn't
this
make
part.
sense.
Ready?
Oh, yeah.
Because
Watch this.
Yep.
She is so awesome. She is the bestest ever. Fuck your Spartan 2 training. Look at it. I just try not to get the stream taken down, so I keep
No, bro,
pausing.
you're good.
But get ready.
Yeah.
Get ready for this. Get ready for this. Hey, you ready?
Oh god,
Fucking pause! Get
Boom.
fucked!
her legs are shattered.
How are your
Yeah.
legs not shattered with your fucking bones sticking out of your knee?
Yep.
And look
Oh
at that.
my
Rolls
God.
on her feet. Oh, she is the best, dude. The best. Does a roll when she hits the ground. Back up on her feet. Keep running. Them elites. Fuck you. You'll never catch me. Righto.
I'm like, an actual elite could make that jump easy and then fucking kill you. You're grunk. Like,
Yeah, dog.
That
It is
drop.
dumb.
Okay, here's the thing. The reason that parkour works, the reason, like, I know how, like, we get trained how to do proper break falls, front, rear, side, all that jazz. We learn how to roll out of things so that we don't shatter our bones. She came down full force. It doesn't matter that it was on sand. There's only so much give that sand can give you leeway on. There's only so much. When you come down, especially if you look at the slope with which she jumped, okay, she was still accelerating when she hit the ground, right? She's still accelerating, and she came down full force on her feet. Her legs, her hips, her feet, her spine, they are shattered. They're shattered. There is no question. Like, she's not wearing any. I seriously doubt the rags that she's in has any kind of skeletal reinforcement or any type of buff that's going to prevent her body from crumbling under her own weight. There's no way she survives that drop. You cannot hit full force. If anything, she should have started her roll as she was coming down so that she can go into a roll. It will capture the most momentum and it will divert all of that stress, all of that inertia outwards so that her body isn't taking the impact. Is it going to hurt? Yeah, it's going to hurt like hell. But you're not going to die. You might have a few broken bones, but you're still going to be able to run. There's no way, like, just,
Yeah, it's pretty munted. It's pretty munted.
But
I
it looks
do
cool.
I have the chat open on my second monitor, but it's a bit difficult to see. But a big shout out to everybody in the chat. I'm sorry I'm not as interactive with the chat as normal, but while screen sharing, I've got this on full screen so I can just slide through it a bit easier. So I do apologize for that. But if they make her the Spartan 2 candidate that got that way, I'm going to be furious. Yeah, they got away. Sorry. That's a good story, that one, on Halo Legends. Brightest Day with a 5 through super chat. Thank you very much, sir. My only defense of this show is that I believe there will always be AKs, regardless of how far in the future, just for meme purposes and because AK. Now, look, I hear you, but that's not why they did it. They did it because they don't know what they're fucking doing.
Yeah.
They don't know what they're doing. I mean, if anything, they should have shittier version, just to put it simple, shittier versions of UNSC weaponry. Maybe UNSC weaponry. Maybe I could buy the fact that they stole some weaponry. I mean, for fuck's sakes, they have a Chevy car. He's standing on top of a Chevy car. I'm pretty sure one of my neighbors has one of these cars in the next apartment building down.
Yeah. Yep. 100%, man. Yeah, the aesthetic is awful for this. Yeah.
It's just these guys, the people that wrote this are just in a whole other fucking planet, man. They don't know what they're doing. They're living in a fantasy world, which is ironic because this is supposed to be science fiction. But
so, do you mind if I share something on screen really quick? Lethal TDS sent this to me. This is the showrunner from Halo.
Yeah.
Yeah, go for it.
And you're banned on Twitter, but I think you might appreciate this. Let me unboomer myself for a second. Here we go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go for it. While you're doing that, last Toxic Man with a 15 through Streamlabs. Thank you very much, sir. I just got to say, I appreciate you all watching this dog shit because I'm definitely not watching this dog shit. You're all mad lads. Can't wait for more reviews. Thank you very much, last Toxic Man, and thank you very much, Brightest Day, and a big shout out to all the chat for being here. You mad lads. Mad lads and lasses. All right, let me have a look at this.
Okay, so to give you guys context really quick, here's the Variety articles.
Is this the one where it's the thread from like a...
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is a thread of stuff, right?
Yeah, I've seen that.
Voices Cortana. And so here, Variety says, we didn't look at the game. We didn't talk about the game, right? This is what the Variety articles are saying. Here's the showrunner's comments. Headlines are fun, but here's what I really said. To make the Halo TV series, we started from the game, and then we made the pilgrimage to 343 to study the entire canon so that we could bring you the full Halo experience. I'm gonna call bullshit.
What?
Okay, if that's what you're gonna say, I'm gonna let Tom Hardy speak for me here.
Shut your fucking mouth! No problem, John. Shut the fuck up, you cunt! Shut it!
Yeah.
She's lying.
About sums it up. There's no way. There is no way on Earth, this Earth, Silver Timeline Earth, or whatever that planet was called, friggin' discount Tatooine. Like,
oh, I'm Tom.
Oh, what is this? What is this person doing? I don't understand. Like, Mr. Stephen Kane, I'm going to ask you a direct question. When you say you made the pilgrimage to 343, I don't understand what you mean by that.
To quote my people, what do you fucking mean, guys?
Yeah, what do you mean? Because you can't start from the game. Like, when you say you started from the game, do you know how many games there are? Because it's not just one. So what do you mean you started from the game? Halo 1, Halo 2, Halo Reach, Halo Infinite? Like, what are we talking about?
When you say the entire canon, you're telling me you sat down and read every single Halo comic and book? Because I call bullshit.
Every book, every comic, and you played all of the games. I am. Yes, Fiend Machine, absolutely. Like, what in God's green earth are you talking about, Mr. Kane? Like, the full Halo experience? Guys, we're about to get into it. Doom did a better job with the first, and
that's saying something.
That's saying something. Doom did a better job with the POV. That is
Well, and that's the thing. Like here, something I think is interesting and needs to.
I
Go ahead.
can't.
Yeah, it's bad. But I think something that should be said too. Nervous drinking here. Sorry. What's interesting is that all three of us, we have some commonalities with what we didn't like about the show, but all three of us have our own unique takes on what wasn't good about the show, and that to me speaks to the quality. You know, there isn't really like for detractors of the show. I see so many different things that they didn't like, didn't make sense to them. They would have liked to see different. You know, that there's no common thread of like, well, at least this part of this was good. There are like some things that are bad that people are like, well, at least this thing worked, or at least that worked about it, or at least this was cool. But there's such a consistent thread of criticisms that you can't dismiss all of that and say, well, these people are just hating to hate. Like, no, it's because there are so many aspects of this that don't work as a show, as a good show, that are sticking out as bad. The design of some of the costumes, the design, the aesthetic of the worlds that they're on, the way that they have treated the Covenant, the way that they're treating the introduction to the Spartans, all of it is bad. And nobody across the board is saying, cool, well, you know, because the argument that's being made by some media outlets is the first 20 minutes is amazing and the rest of the show sucks.
Yes.
And then some are saying, oh, the first 20 minutes suck and the rest of the show is amazing. And some people are saying, it's an interesting take, but you know, blah, blah. I'm like, well, which one is it? Like, you guys will normally jump on the same bandwagon and give each other hand jobs about how right you all are on something and gaslight fans into believing, and you guys can't even agree what part of the show works and what doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
And that should be an indicator that the show as a whole is not good and that they're doing their best to shield for the show because they get paid by these companies to do that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I think this part right here, so where she's like, they killed Caro and Esso, and first of all, her accent, like, I'm trying to do it as best as I can. There's no reason. She sounds different. Like, we were talking about this earlier. Everybody, for some reason, you've got a dude with an Irish accent and you've got British sounding people, like all of these different accents. Her accent is like nobody else's accent. It doesn't line up with anyone's, not even her father's. She doesn't.
Yeah, and like Mike said, they were all presumably born on this planet.
Yeah.
So they should all sound the same, right? They're all hanging out with each other.
But no, like she sounds like she has no just
How many UNSC? Now, this is something that happens a little bit later, but I want to bring it up now. This episode contradicts itself in an amazing way. Amazing way. The insurrectionists have heard of the Covenant, but they believe that it's UNSC propaganda.
Yes.
And then later in the episode, they outright say, man, we've been fighting the Covenant for years and we're getting our asses kicked. It's the year 2552, which is a pretty significant date in real Halo lore. So which is it? Have you been fighting him for fucking years? Or is it propaganda? Because if this was early in the war, I could buy the fact that not everyone believes it.
Yeah.
Yep.
But this is so far into the war that planets are being destroyed. The human population is getting fucking wiped out. Planets are being glassed. There's no fucking way that it's still considered propaganda. Yeah,
because the thing is, when in the Halo series, you know, we're obviously joining them in the middle in a war. The UNSC is pulling out all the stops. They're doing
the
everything.
Trilogy is right at the end of the war.
Yep.
Yeah. So they're like, hey, we're pulling out all the stops here. Like, there is no talk about insurrectionists. There is no conversation about, hey, we got to do this. We're here to do this, or we're here to do that. No, it's fuck. This is bad. And we're doing everything we can to keep humanity alive. Like, so yeah, propaganda. Like, what bullshit are you? You obviously have access to news. You obviously have access to people talking about things. How the fuck are you still pushing this concept of like propaganda? And yeah, that this is like all a lie and nobody knew about it.
What
like,
about insurrectionists on other planets going, I fucking saw it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Like the intro to this when they're sitting around freaking playing cards because what else are you gonna do in a Mad Max universe? But so they're sitting there and they're gambling and they're playing cards or whatever, and the guy's like, "Hey, I've faced Marines," and they're like, "Well, one Spartan is worth 100 Marines," and it's like, and you're looking at the kid who is saying this, and you're like, "Okay, so why are you here? Like, what brought you here? Did your last outpost get destroyed by Spartans? Like, is that what or Marines? Is that what you're saying? Like, what exactly is going on? Like, why are all of these people here? Stuff that we've already kind of touched on. But like Mike said, you don't give it any chance to breathe. They were so desperate to get their epic, not their epic Mike. They wanted their epic Spartan versus elite showdown right away, right there from the get-go, because they were hoping that the flash and the sparks from all the gunfire and all the confusion and all the dust would make you go, "Oh my gosh, this is so awesome. Like, I need to see more." That's what they were hoping for. They were hoping that this God, what are we, Lethal? Like 7 minutes into the show right now, if that.
We're just about to hit 8. But John raises a point which I think I mentioned in my video. In the real canon, insurrectionists were the ones that fucking got hit by the Covenant first, before the UNSC. But propaganda.
Yeah, propaganda.
Yeah, no, they took. It's Mr. Kane. I'm going to go ahead and just say you are a liar. There's no way that you played the games and then went to 343 and read any of that material or took any. I would be shocked if you looked at the Cliff's Notes of that material. That's how I would be that stunned if you did that, because you're not going to.
What the fuck is this guy pointing at?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. He's pointing at him. He's like, I don't like
flagging.
this guy. I've got my chance now.
Yeah, this is my chance to put him down.
But like, it's you're to the point in this where anybody who knows anything about Halo knows that this is BS. It's just insanity.
You don't need to, man. You can play like half a game and know that this is bullshit.
Yeah.
So they get all the kids in the vault, which does end up being a bit of a mistake going on.
Yep.
But we have our main character directing Slumdog Millionaire kid into the vault, and we're just about to get to the battle scene. So they're hiding in the vault, which is like, where the old people and the kids go before a fight. Then we have strong female character number 1 or number 2, I guess. Dad's freaking out a little bit. What's going on here? What in God's name? Which I guess that's fair that he would think that. But have they blown down the door yet?
Nope.
Oh, you there?
Yeah, they have.
Yeah.
I've gone a bit too far.
Right there.
Sorry.
Oh,
no, you're good. Yeah. So like, also,
she still hasn't wiped her hair, her blood.
There we go. No,
Yeah.
she hasn't. It forever shall it remain.
So here it is. These are what they blow down the door. And I showed this on stream last night. These elites look like skinny Krogans from Mass Effect.
Thank you.
Yep. 100%.
And the way this battle plays out, this would be better if they were brutes.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. 100%. Yep.
So they're about to come in. One thing they do, which I will give them a bit of credit for, is they distinguish the ranks between the elites with different colored armor. Like this one's in red, so clearly he's like a captain or a major, whatever. It's Silver Timeline. Who the fuck knows? But look at him.
Maybe he's the
That is not what an elite looks like. They're not
No.
lizard enough, in my opinion. I think lizard's the word I would use to describe what they're lacking.
Yeah.
And this is what Mike says. This dude starts laying into him, fucking laying into him, and it does nothing.
Look at that. They have
Absolutely
two.
nothing.
They have two of these things. Like what this is called, this is a bottleneck right here. The elites are coming through a bottleneck.
Yep.
If there's no way that you're going to have 2 turret guns on these elites and it have no effect on them. And then in 15 seconds, because why? Because John picks up the turret gun, it now suddenly gets a boost.
Yeah. It would have made more sense that they didn't get a chance to use the guns.
Yep.
Like the elite, because that's the other thing. Why would an elite, well, I mean, if they're this bulletproof, it makes sense why they would. But other than that, Why would this elite just walk right into this?
Yeah, elites are like pretty smart.
Yeah.
This is why I kept saying this would be better if it was brutes, and brutes just went forward, just fucking rush them.
Yeah, because they don't give a fuck. And then also it would make sense that they're that durable because brutes are hard to bring down.
Really cool if it was a brute chieftain. Door gets blown in, and he just comes in with a gravity hammer and just running at him. Instead, we got elites coming in doing a slow walk at him. Like,
Yeah,
what?
this. Oh.
Well, this is how I would have done it. They're all set up. You know, they got their guns pointing at the door. They think the door's going to get blown open. One dude just gets his head cut off. Turns out elites are already there, invisible, and they just start to slaughter him. Then the door blows open, and then brutes are just rushing in. Now, I know elites and brutes don't really get along, but Silver Timeline, you can make it work if that's the way you want to go about it.
Yep, 100%.
And let's talk about the fact they do not cloak at all, except one elite cloaks, and it's to run away.
Part, I think he's going to be the arbiter, that guy.
No.
Think so?
Yeah, I'll explain why when we get there, but I think he's feel. I think they're going to make him feel.
God.
And it ties into the prophet scene as well. So yeah, they're coming in, fucking, you know, they got their plasma rifles. And yeah, this is when the battle scene breaks out. And they kind of, one thing I do like is the insurrectionists get fucking slaughtered. They just cannot compete.
Yeah.
And it's just a bloodbath all around. I still think it'd be better being a brutes though. But it's just,
here's the other
it's
thing.
the best part, and most of this was in the trailer.
Yeah.
So here's the other thing. These insurrectionists have been fighting the UNSC for, like, if you listen to them, the war's been going on forever since she talks about how, oh, that's later in the episode. But basically, this war has been going on since forever, is what it feels like, right? For between the insurrectionists and the UNSC. Well, the thing is, if you're battling them, you know that they have airships. You know that they have the skies. You're not going to sit in a metal ring, and this is proven in a few seconds. You're not going to sit out in the open with turret guns pointed at the door when it's not your only point of ingress, and hope that a freaking Spartan ship, which has just been, like we said, all of this stuff, we should fear the Spartans. They're so terrifying. You're not going to sit out in the ship could just take all of you out.
Yeah.
Like,
Yep.
there is no there's no military tactical practices
just on top of
with
that,
these
Lady
insurrectionists.
G, but this would be a pretty good time for that Covenant Phantom that's just out in the fucking open to make a move.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like,
Do something.
There's, even when it comes to like,
See, that I do like that. I will give it
Yes.
credit there. That does look good where you like get cut in half.
we know where
Yeah.
they spent all their money.
Yeah.
Like, what irritates me is there's no formations, there's no ranks, there's no anti-air anything. They have nothing to combat air. Which, if they have been battling the USNC for freaking ever, 3 decades or something like that, why would you would have mounted turret guns on your wall. You would have anti-aircraft something. Because you know that these guys have these ships. You would try to disable them, and you would try to steal them for your own use. Which, by the way, the insurrectionists have done. They have stolen weapons. They have stolen ships. They have sent spies into the USNC. Like, my head hurts.
Yeah.
All right, this was the part where I was like, these absolutely should have been brutes. Because watch
Yeah.
what
Oh,
this
yeah.
elite does.
Oh,
This
yeah.
was the part, like, be a brute. If this was a brute, this would have been really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I got nothing against an elite being a fucking badass, but you're telling me that would not have been way cooler if that was a brute.
It would have been,
Yeah.
yeah.
Just fucking boars.
By the way, he's also dead.
Oh, yeah.
Daddy is dead.
But nah, we need character motivation for our Mary Sue. I mean, main character.
Can I just say how, like, her plot, like, even here, this is her plot armor. This is why she leaves the vault. This is why she leaves, and it doesn't get slaughtered with the rest of them, because she sees her daddy die. Like, he's dead. There's no getting around it, but he's not because, plot art. He must have had the same thing on him that she had when she made that jump off of the cliff. And that's what it must be. But this is her plot armor.
Dr. Coffin Nails with a 5-3 super chat. Thank you very much, sir. And again, I'm sorry I'm not as interactive with the chat. When I've got this full screen, I can't see too much of it. But he says, even though I don't know much about Halo, I can tell that this show is just more postmodern, dystopian, poorly written garbage. It's just a lack of knowledge about to put it this way, Dr. Coffin Nails, from the jump, they came out and said this show's not canon. That's how badly they fucked this up. Yeah. And I found it pretty ironic that when they announced this show, not long after they announced the canon Halo book. So it's like, hey, we got real Halo coming out, but there's also this show. But yeah, thank you very much, Dr. Coffin. Always good to see you, sir. Durkown with, oh gosh, 5. Is that Disparu money?
Euros.
Oh, €5. We'll have to catch this on the replay, but I know I will get more Halo lore entertainment in this episode. Thank you very much. So have a drink on me. There you go, buddy. Cheers. Jameson and pineapple juice. Might need another one before we get through all of this thing. All right. Okay. So yeah, the Elite smashes down that, and then she's all like, my dad. I've got to go get my dad. Yeah, and how is he not fucking dead? Like from
no, he's dead.
Should
like
be.
internal hemorrhaging, broken bones. I mean,
or like,
dead.
how's it? At least his leg not broken or something,
right?
Like, yeah, is that a car drop on it?
And shout out to Disparu. He used this image for his thumbnail. I thought I would be all, like slick and cool and use the back of Chief's head. Disparu's like, nah, just use the funny face.
Yep.
Oh man, that's gonna be up there like Rey Skywalker's scream. So, yeah. and this should be pointed out here. I feel she's actually also kind of responsible for getting everyone in the vault killed, because that's about to happen. Because she's about to run out. Now, don't get me wrong, the other dickhead's also responsible, but her running out, maybe it gave the other deer to go there and help and try and break in.
Like, what's going on in there? That she just came out of there.
Yeah.
Not only that, but she, like, the dialogue in this show, oh my God, we haven't even touched on that. This kid rightfully is like, are we going to die? Like, yes.
No.
She's like, no, we're warriors, right? I'm like, what the? No, you're hiding in a vault.
Have you looked at and seen what's going on out there?
Like, no, you all dead.
Everyone's already dead, more than likely.
Ugh.
And so they're starting to get picked off. They're just getting slaughtered.
I'm not going to lie. When I saw that shot, I thought she survived it. I did. I was like, oh my God, I swear, if she gets up, I'm going to riot. But
yeah, I know, like Mike said, this scene is getting quite a bit of praise from Shield Media. And granted, it is the best part. And like, when you see that dude get cut in half, you're like, yeah, that's cool and all. But when you think about it on more than a surface level, it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense.
Yeah, the elites are not. We've been through this. The elites aren't brutes. They're not grunts. They're not.
Another power slide from our girl.
Right? God, she's so awesome at the parkour. But like that was a nice freeze frame, by the way. The idea, like, they're not going to be wasting this much energy. These elites are going to come in, they're going to slice them with energy swords, and they're going to leave. And they would not be, like you said, they wouldn't be visible. The way I would have handled this if I was them, you blow the doors open to draw all of their power, like all the firepower towards that bottleneck where you think they're coming. You've already camouflaged yourself, and you just start slicing everybody in half from the rear. Because these elites can clear that wall, no problem. We've seen it.
It actually shows them jumping over it.
Yeah. So it makes, like I said, they clearly have no one. Yeah, his leg is broken and his foot is gone, FYI.
Oh, and the way he gets out, he just kind of like wills himself to get out of it.
Yeah, he pulls his foot a little bit harder. And you're like, wow.
Shakes and pulls.
It's like when you're looking to turn off a light switch without getting out of bed. You're like, oh, I can't fucking reach it. But then if only I could just magically reach it. That's kind of what it does.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Oh, my foot suck. I can't get it out. But if I pulled just a little harder,
Yeah.
it's good. Yeah.
Mm. Mr.
And that
Kane,
goes-
I need to ask, who the hell was in charge of choreographing your fights and military tactics? Like,
Mm-hmm.
who help me understand, because you're the one who said that you wanted to give us the full Halo experience. Also,
Yeah.
that elite is not going to look up like that. He's
Yeah, why
not
does
going to
it-
spare. He's not going to spare him
Yeah.
to look up at the sky. Are you kidding?
Oh, we missed the slaughter.
did miss
That's when the Pelican arrives. What he would have done, what that elite would have done, is he would have quickly glanced and been like, right, that's UNSC. We got to get busy because this is about to get hectic.
Mm-hmm.
So some Gronk comes along, and I don't want to play too much. So I don't want to get the stream taken down. Yeah, so the elite finds out that they're all hiding in there because that dickhead fucking runs in there and he's like, oh, help me, let me in.
Let me in. The one who's apparently faced Marines before.
Yeah. So then he comes along and the elite stabs him, and then the elite sees that they're all in there, and he busts open the door and just starts wrecking everyone. And this dude's just magically, pulling his foot out inch by inch. So like this type of scene, like this scene here, I don't mind that. I don't mind the slaughter. I think this is pretty in line with everything. But like I said, everything else that's going on, when you think about it, doesn't make too much sense. And I think that's like, they don't want you to think too much about the stuff. They just want you to consume and be, oh, it's Halo, hence I like it. But no, that's not how it is.
Yeah, exactly.
And like, that is pretty cool, the way he kills everyone. I mean, his face looks a bit fucked, but the way he just kills everyone is pretty cool.
Yeah, well, it would have been like funny too if her dad never got free and just died like a bitch under this truck. Because
Yeah.
nothing he can do about it. Like
Yep.
you can't, like that's how fucking shit goes sometimes,
Pretty much.
My
sorry,
least favorite part is about to come up.
Last Toxic Mail with a 5 through super chat. Thank you, sir. We all elites would have charged in the base going, what? They do actually do a what?
Mm-hmm.
And it's supposed to be a bit like, haha, we did the joke, we did the meme. And they also mentioned Commander Shepard from Mass Effect throughout the episode as a bit of a joke as well. Pretty out there. Ooh, yeah,
But it's a
breakfast,
silver
mate.
timeline, so why are you even making those jokes? If it's not canon, you don't get to make the canon jokes.
Yes. Like I was half expecting teabagging to be in the episode at one stage.
I know, right?
Well, I felt like the show teabagged on us, to be honest.
I told Epic Mike he was like, this show is a fail, or like, what did you call it, a disappointment? And I'm like, that's being kind. And then
Yeah,
I did the Halo
failure.
teabagging, failure. And I was like, that's being kind. And then I did the Halo teabag. But I think, oh god.
So I've just got the pop-up saying we've detected copyrighted audio, but I'm not playing audio, so I might
What?
just jump forward. Yeah. So
You
that's a
should-
bit munted.
You said what? And they're like, hey,
I said what?
Oh, yeah,
and
you
Paramount's like,
did.
we got it. So he's looking it up and he's seeing the Pelican, and the Pelican drops off silver team. And then we get our Master Chief superhero landing, and he hits the ground and kind of just starts going at him.
No.
No, that's where it should be.
That's the way it should be. So he does the superhero landing, and then he like slowly picks up his head, and I'm like, these are elites. Why?
Yeah.
What are you doing? Why are you moving this slow? Why is your weapon not like what is happening right now? Master Chief doesn't move like this. Oh my god, when he speaks.
Oh, it's so bad. But here's the other thing as well that goes on top of that, Lady G, is Master Chief in the Silver Timeline, without destroying a Halo ring, without even knowledge of a Halo ring, is already referred to by the Covenant as Demon.
the demon. And
Which
you know,
doesn't make sense.
No.
Which doesn't make sense because the whole thing of him being called a demon is because he blew up the first Halo ring in the first Halo game, which is like ultimate form of heresy to them.
Yep.
So that's why he's called the demon. But that just shows you that the Covenant is aware of Master Chief without him ever doing that. So when Master Chief hits the ground and he's doing his superhero pose, dabbing for his fucking Instagram profile picture and shit like that, why aren't the elites just going, oh, fuck, that's him, and then just rush him?
Right?
yeah, or run away or something. Like literally, it's just like a throw off line of demon. Well, and that's the thing too. I looked it up because I was like, you know what? Maybe they got an interpretation somewhere different. And there is like some theories that maybe demon refers to elite enemies of like other like that maybe Spartans could be considered demons, stuff like that, because in ODST they refer to, or yeah, in ODST one of the grunts calls one of the ODST soldiers like an imp, and so there's like maybe that. But the thing is, yeah, like the way that they play this out is this war's been going on for years and years and years, or whatever this shit it is. But yeah, Master Chief hasn't done anything to get the titles or get the prestige at this point. He's just a Spartan. Like he's a good Spartan, he's a good soldier. But like, yeah, like I don't know. It just seems really weird because like the way that Master Chief is in Halo 1 and the way that the Covenant responds to him in Halo 1 is so different than the way they treat him in Halo 2 because he has an established reputation as a danger and as a badass and as something that's a real problem for them. And here, like Lethal said, you're calling him a demon. You don't reference or look at any of the other Spartans running around here. And then like they treat him, it's like they don't know how to treat Master Chief. They want to treat him like this hero, and then they want to treat him like he's not. It's weird.
Now, I don't like Halo 5 as much as the next person, but Halo 5 absolutely nails the point we're about to make here about him being called Demon. And Arkasaur says, I don't think they even called him Demon in Combat Evolved. No,
they don't because
and
also,
they don't know who he is. He hadn't blown up the Halo ring yet.
Nope.
And they can't really I don't think you can't even really understand the Covenant in that. Like,
but listen to this.
Yeah.
So I don't like Halo 5. I don't like Locke, but this is when they talk about Chief and why he's called Demon.
I can't hear it.
Yeah, you didn't share audio, Lethal.
Oh.
But while you're fixing that really quick, Scotty J, since Lethal can't really see the chat, I will answer your question on what the F is Silver Team. It is their non-canon team.
Wannabe blue team.
It's because they are so off the rails with this entire enterprise that they had to decanonize their own show. And in order to do that, they changed it to Silver Team.
Because Silver Timeline.
Was not told the identity of your prey. That is why we're talking about trust.
Where is
May I ask you something?
Here it is.
Talking about trust, after all. May I ask you something?
This is the part.
Your people used to call him Demon. Was that an insult or a compliment?
Your people used to call him Demon. Not Spartans. You called him Demon. Because he says, oh, you're hunting, because Arbiter says, you're hunting a Spartan. He goes, no, I'm hunting Lee Spartan.
Yeah.
And you used to call him Demon. Why is that?
An insult, to be sure.
An insult.
But one with a modicum of respect.
Yes, an insult, but with a modicum of respect. Because elites are warriors. They respect that Chief is a fucking nutcase.
So
you don't fuck with the Chief.
Yes. So to give you guys an idea, so stormtroopers in Star Wars, I know I keep going back to that. They're based on actual stormtroopers. Like stormtroopers were a thing in World War I. They were terrifying, right? Like they were elite fighters in trench warfare. Like just listen to the Sabaton song, Stormtroopers. You'll get a very brief history lesson, and you'll understand why they would be based off of stormtroopers. Why I bring that up is because when they're referencing him as Demon in World War II, Marines earned the title Devil Dog or Teufelshunden because of the way that they fought, because they were so ferocious, because they were terrifying. Right? It's the Battle of Bella Wood. There's a whole history behind it. Obviously, like it's just absolutely insane. But Devil Dog was both. Teufelshunden was this exact same thing. It is an insult, but with respect because of the way that they fight, the way that they are capable. Same thing. When you're talking about what they're essentially calling Chief here is the Angel of Death. Is basically what they're referring to him as, but they're calling him Demon because they are trying to insult him.
Yeah.
Even though there's no reason for him to be called Demon.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just wanted to highlight that because that just... Oh my God, we got to talk about this part. Have you ever seen an elite get killed with a fucking metal pole before?
A metal fucking pipe.
A metal fucking pipe.
You're telling me 2 turret guns on this guy didn't do anything. But again, is it because a Spartan picked it up? Now the pipe got a buff?
Yep, that's kind of what it feels like. Yeah.
Like, I get that you're supposed to demonstrate that Spartans are like are very weapons of convenience, weapons of opportunity. They're able to turn anything into a weapon. I get that. A metal pipe against a plasma sword, it is not going to win. I don't care who's on the other end of it.
Let alone their armor and all that on. But nah, doesn't matter. Look at that! He fucking shanks him with a metal pole.
Yeah. And then the elite just does nothing. I'm like, dude, elites are way more like tough than that. Like you're lucky that he didn't come down that pole and beat the shit out of you when he got to the bottom of it. Like,
think of Emil's death. Now, I have my own issues with the Halo Reach game because I think it contradicts the book. But whatever. But think of Emil's death in that game. Him and the elite are stabbing each other.
Yeah.
But elites aren't bitches, man. They don't go down like that. Like I said before, in terms of toe-to-toe, human or elite, always put your money on the elite, even if it is a Spartan. Spartan might have a chance, but elites don't fuck around.
Well,
like,
no.
One of my favorite Halo images is from Halo Reach, where the elite is holding a Spartan free by a throat and stabbing him while slightly lifting him off the ground.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing too. Like, you know, Halo 1, when elites showed up, I mean, like, yeah, hunters were like the terrifying like thing when they showed up, but like even elites were hard fought battles. It wasn't, you couldn't just easily win a fight against an elite. And I feel like this is a slight criticism I have. I think once that like Band-Aid got ripped off in like Halo 2 and 3 specifically, elites kind of got the shaft a little bit. They got a lot easier to kill and they were less scary when they showed up, and you kind of were like, oh, it's an elite, whatever. You know, brutes were tough and hunters were like the big bads or whatever. But one of the things I loved about Reach specifically was that they restored elites to being dangerous like that. Like, it was not an easy fight. You couldn't just run up on elite, especially when they were in like the white armor and stuff. You couldn't just run up on them and just melee them to death. Like, they were going to fucking kill you. You were going to lose that fight like 10 times or like 9 times out of 10, you know? And I think that was the thing that should have been shown here, is that, yeah, Spartans are badass, but they are like the only real weapon we have against the Covenant. And that's not what they did here. They showed that the elites are bitches and that they have nothing on Spartans. They have no defense against Spartans, and Spartans pretty much make elites their bitch in any way they want to. Like this bitch with her dual wielding pistols and shit, or that guy with the fucking pipe, or then, you know, yeah. It's just, yeah.
I'll be real. I can't even remember the names of the other characters from Silver Team. I just call them not Fred, not Kelly, and not Linda.
Yep. 100%. I have no idea what it is.
I can't remember. Oh, Booty. Oh, wait, that's Elite Booty.
Ooh.
And yeah, so she's taking him. And like, yeah, like it's like Lady Greymaster said, when the insurrectionists are shooting at them, they've got overshields on. But when Spartans shoot out of them, it's like they're playing SWAT. They've got no shields.
Yep.
They're just getting dropped. And this is another part where she should be dead 5 times over, but nah.
Easily.
Nah, she's good. This when I saw this, I kept thinking of Jurassic Park.
Yeah. I know, right?
And she's about to be saved again because, I tell you what, man, this girl has a fucking guardian angel looking out for her.
She probably has destiny, you know, on her side. She's probably really important to the world.
Now, someone made the claim that they're gonna, fuck, I'm just blanking. I totally forgot. There was a crazy theory about what they're gonna do with her. It'll come to me later. Someone in the chat will probably remind me. But yeah, her best friend's dead. Well, I assume it's a friend. They don't really fucking bring up any of these characters. I don't know who these motherfuckers are. They're just dead. And I'm supposed to care too much about her, like losing friends and all that. I'm like, eh.
The thing is, they never gave us a chance to care about those characters. We never.
Yes.
They're just gone too fast. What would have been better is if this episode had been the insurrectionists, you know, prepping to fight the Spartans. The Spartans show up, a battle ensues, and then the Spartans pull away, and the insurrectionists think that they have won, but then they see that the Spartans have turned their firepower or whatever to a different location, and they're now fighting these strange looking creatures that like like first you've got the insurrectionists wondering like why are they firing at nothing, because you've got the elites are not going to not be they're not going to be cloaked. They will be cloaked. There's no reason these elites right now, I have no idea why they're not cloaked. No idea.
Yeah.
But then you get and then
this
and then
CGI is so bad when he does the
Yeah.
jump.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Yeah, like the way that they like become like these weird blubbery messes, like when they start running and stuff, like it makes no sense. There's no weight to them at all. They just like floating around. Yeah.
Look at his legs. Huh.
he skipped
Well,
leg
what a-
day.
Yeah, what happened there? They're just twigs. And then all of a sudden he gets his aimbot. But this is really weird. This is the part Mike was talking about when he shoots at them. And they just kind of drop. They just kind of like give up in a weird way. Yeah, it's pretty out there. Pretty out there, man.
By the way, I'm going to correct
yes.
myself. I said World War II and I meant World War I. Yes, guys, you're right. It's the Battle of Bella Wood in World War I. I am sorry. I did misspeak.
Yeah.
It
But like,
happens.
him fighting the elites when he drops down and he's like dodging them and punching them in the face and shooting them with an assault rifle, and they just like die. They just like fall over and fucking die. I'm like, 2 elites on Chief? That's a fight. That's a hard fight.
That's
The
a
Chief
really
might not
hard-
win, especially with 2 of them with energy swords. Like, that's you're like, yes, Chief is fast. Chief can move, but like Chief is not super agile. But like, I mean, the elites kind of are agile, but like, I get that how it translates to like a first-person shooter, how it translates to real life is different. But we've seen Chief throw down with elites outside of the first-person perspective, and that is not what it looks like at all.
No.
It was like they tried to make him this like they had the concept. This is what a badass fight looks like. I'm like, no, Chief is a bruiser. Like Chief would have like Chief gets down and dirty, but like he's not ducking and dodging and shit like that. He's I don't know. It was just
And
goofy.
this is the
looking.
part you talked about where all of a sudden, when he picks up the gun,
Mm.
it's got a crazy buff. Where it can just drop them all.
Drop
And yet when
4
they-
of them. Yep.
And yet, when the elites, skinny Krogans, slowly walk through the door after blowing it down, and everyone's laying into them with this specific gun as well as part of that. Nothing.
Yep.
Nothing. And did I skip? The
Someone
first person part?
said it was because he got him from behind. That's not true either. Even if you're going to go with that approach, they turned around after the first one fell. So you don't get that. You don't get that one either.
Yeah, you drop 1, not 4.
Yeah. Like you don't that is no excuse. Oh god.
She's about to get saved again.
this scene right here.
I kind of want to play this, but I'm scared of getting the stream taken down. So yeah, this is when the elite that's leading the attack turns his attention. And I do like this, the way he doesn't even stab him. He just holds him up and activates it. I'm like, that's cool. That's
That was
cool. But yeah. Hey, Disparu, another face for another thumbnail. There you go. And this is where it goes first person. Holy shit, this is bad. Oh man. Now I'm not going to play this, but when you get a chance, go on YouTube and look at this first person scene. It's orange. It's orange. Now, I swear I didn't notice this on the clip that they released, but I didn't even see the numbers there, so I got that wrong. My bad. But this is fucking dog shit. Now, there's one part specifically I want to highlight when it gets to there. Maybe I've jumped over it. Nope, not yet.
By the way, she's dead because that elite knows she's there.
Yeah.
Yep.
But again, this elite is slow walking over to her.
Yeah, instead of just shooting her from across, like just shooting her, just shoot her. Yeah.
I'm not getting it. But the first person is really bad.
Yeah.
You should see when he throws down the gun, it turns into CGI. They do this thing with the shield. His shield breaks and it makes the noise. Dot, 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 and then it recharges. But there's no, it's all audio. You don't actually see the shield recharge.
Nope.
And I reckon that's the whole reason why they did it in first person, because they did not want to do the shield recharging because maybe they just couldn't get it right.
Well, because the thing at the point where he does the shield recharging moment, they go to a third person perspective. He's sitting behind the thing, and that's one of the first things I thought was this weird. he didn't even get like. There's no visual cues that his shield is like rippling with recharge energy or anything. They just make the noise. Like they just were like, "Hey, he's sitting right here. Just put the noise in with the shield right there because that'll make people happy."
The terrible thing here is the thing about this show, guys. You have to play the games to understand these things, but they're not even being true to the game. They are like they're cherry picking stuff from the games. But if you hadn't played the game, you're not like someone could have thought that was a plasma grenade.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. That's exactly it. If you're going to say it's not canon, it's not important, and stuff like that, and then you're going to put things in the game that are for hardcore fans or that are just even for people that have played the games, then do it right. Because or else all it comes across as, because if I'm a casual fan that knows nothing about Halo, I don't know what that sound means, like Lady Grandmaster said. I don't know what that sound means. I don't know the relevance of that. The only person that would know that is a player of the games. And even players of like Halo Reach or even Halo like 4 or 5 might not even know what that is at first. They might not have even, that is a sound that is supposed to elicit nostalgic feelings, make you feel good about yourself and make you feel good about Halo. So that is for the fans of the games. And it is not even used correctly, which shows that they're trying to appeal to fans of the games, but then telling you, you got to let go of that. That's not important. You got to let the story that's playing out play out and stop hanging on to the games. It's like, you can't have both. You don't get to tell us, don't give a shit about the stuff and then give a shit about it because we want you to feel good about it. You know?
Well, cause see, and they put those little elements in there because they like you said, this way, when they get criticism that not like, you know, how different they are from the games, or that the first POV is terrible, or that the elites look like anorexic. What did you call them, Lethal?
Skinny Krogans.
Skinny Krogans. You know, like you're just like, no, but they're there. Like, be like, you can't say that we didn't. Like, clearly we know what we're talking about because we have the sounds, we have the Krogans. We went on this pilgrimage to.
You cut out.
No,
at
you do
pilgrimage.
not, because this is.
You cut out at pilgrimage.
Oh, sorry. But they're like, yeah, we went on this pilgrimage to 343. You know, like we're respecting the lore so much so that we had to decanonize our own show because we knew how much we were going to get our shit pushed in.
Yeah.
Oh, wait till we get to Cortana. I can't wait till we get to Cortana.
Yeah.
Guys, by the way, I think we're only like 12 minutes into the show.
No,
Yes.
we're getting close to the 18 mark.
Oh.
We're getting through it. We're getting through it, chat. Let's fucking make it happen. Big shout out to the chat for being here. Thank you all. You guys are amazing. So this is the end of the battle. Our main character here is the only character that survived from the insurrectionists, and all the Spartans are just like, fuck her, just leave her. Like, oh, okay. We're not going to detain her because she's just gone through a traumatic experience. We're not going to detain her because she's a fucking insurrectionist. Nah, fuck her. We're just going to leave her. But later on, we're going to take her and go against UNSC protocol while doing so because plot.
Because, yeah.
So,
Because
yeah,
plot
then we get
reasons.
into the opening credits.
Yes, okay.
and-
Now, other than the back of his stupid fucking head, I didn't mind the intro. I
Yeah.
didn't mind the opening. I was like, okay, it's different, but you know, the problem is 100%. Why didn't you use the Halo theme?
Yes.
Yep.
There's 2 times they use samples of Halo music in this whole thing, and that's during the opening credits here, and one part right at the end where they use it, and when they use it at the end, there's no real reason to use it.
None.
Credits, totally fine. That's probably the one place where it absolutely should be, but I don't know. Maybe Martin O'Donnell fucking was pushing their shit back or for whatever. I don't know. But yeah, so we get our opening. See, like that? Yeah, whatever. Cool with that. That looks all right. And then she wants revenge.
We're back
She's
to
mad.
her.
She big bad. Yeah, so she's just like, okay, everyone here is
point out-
dead.
Yeah, can we point out she has done nothing? She hasn't
Nah.
killed an elite. She hasn't saved anybody. Like, they're like, oh, well, she ran them to the vault and then abandoned them. Like, why? Here's my thing. Again, this goes back to tactics. If the battle is not turned, even Helm's Deep had an exit. Helm's Deep, an impenetrable fortress, had a back way out through the mountains. in case anything were ever to happen.
Yeah, these insurrectionists were just like, fuck it, let's just trap ourselves.
Let's put ourselves in a but they had an exit. They could have gone up through the roof, slid down like she did, and right there should have been some kind of manhole or something to where they can get out of the outpost, where the children and the elderly and whoever is not fighting can get out.
Their idea of that is to get the elderly, the sick, the children, and put them in a fucking box.
Yep. Fish in a barrel, ladies and gents. Fish in a barrel. That's what I'm saying.
All it takes is one elite to go, hey, wait a minute, what's in there? Oh, here we go. Yep. So we get our silver team, wannabe blue team. You know, they're going to investigate what's going on here. After all that. And they see, one of them sees the Phantom, and I still have the same criticism. How the fuck do they not all see it?
Right.
And why has this Phantom just been sitting there this whole time?
Yeah.
One man go in and help on the battle.
Unpiloted. Because they just flat out say, "Oh, just go take it later." Like after they see it. Yeah.
And they see the cave. They go in to investigate the cave. No, only two of them go in. Chief and, like I said, I can't remember these dickheads' names. Not Fred, not Kelly, and not Linda. They go into... Yeah.
I like those names.
Look at the main character of our show. Just walking through the desert.
She's so uninspiring. This girl is a coward. She's a straight up coward. The only reason she talks to Chief, we're going to get to that. The only reason she talks to Chief the way that she does is because she realizes that he isn't going to hurt her at this point. We're going to get to that in a second. But he is not, I don't know who this is. It's not Master Chief.
Sorry, I was wrong about something. But yeah, anyway, so they've got this item in there, which I'm going to go on a limb as saying that's probably some Forerunner item. That's why, they don't know it's a Forerunner item at this stage. Only the Covenant does, and that's why they're there to get it. But like we've already said, if the Covenant really wanted this item, they would go about this completely differently, and they would already have it. Everyone would already be dead, and they'd be gone before fucking Master Chief.
And then they would have glassed the planet.
Yeah, boom, done, peace out. And Chief probably would have died because he would have been arriving just as it was getting glassed.
Yep. Also,
so yeah,
this is one question I had. Too.
Arbiter, I'm calling it, but yeah, go on.
Why do they even show up to the planet?
Who?
The Spartans.
So we can have we can have a 20-minute battle scene.
That's not really explained because
they show up at the exact right time. They never explain why they're there.
Mm-hmm.
Were they there for the insurrectionists? Or did they know that the Covenant were coming to that planet and they showed up there? Like, that's the thing. We don't ever know why, because the insurrectionists sure as hell didn't know that the elites were going to show up there. But somehow
Chief only found this because they wanted to investigate the cave after the battle.
Yep.
So they did not know this cave was there.
Nope. So why did they even come to the planet?
Well, okay, so here's the thing. If this show was consistent and it actually had given us some sense of tactics, what I would say is that the insurrectionist spokesman negotiation failed. It failed. Like, he's putting on a face on the television for all of the insurrectionists or whatever, to give them to not let them, think that anything bad has happened. But it hasn't gone well. So different, because by the way, guys, John and his team, they're not the only Spartans, just so you know. But I would say that for whatever reason, you have Spartans waiting to engage with the insurrectionists, essentially. So they're nearby, ready to engage when the order is received, because they've been informed that negotiations are not going favorably. So that would make sense that they send out, it still would make sense that Spartans doing it, but it would make sense that they would send out a holding party to go in and wipe out resistance, right?
Yeah.
That would make sense. However, we're not given any indication of that. So I have no idea why they're there. But there you go, Halo. I gave you a reason why they could have been there. I doubt you're going to use it.
But they don't tell you that.
No.
So the Spartans just show up, and then it kind of seemingly for no reason.
Yep.
They're just there.
Happened to find the cave because there's a giant fucking phantom right above it.
Yep.
But I reckon this is going to end up being the Arbiter, and it kind of ties in with the Prophet conversation that happens a little bit later. But I think I think there's a reason why they kind of specifically focus on this elite. I think there's a reason why he wasn't at the battle, because this item is just top priority. So he's the one that's left to deal with it. And I'm kind of guessing here, but maybe he can't actually physically grab it, because only humans can, because mantle of responsibility and all that shit passed down from the Forerunners, right? And the way that he escapes, and the way that they talk about him after, where we'll get to it. But I think this is going to end up being the Arbiter. I think that's.
Do you really think that the showrunners thought that through? Like, the reason he wasn't able to grab it was because he wasn't human, or did they just want to have it? Did they just want to have a cool scene with Chief?
I think it ties into the human that's part of the Covenant, which is even stupider.
Well, they do say that there's a relation between those two, or a parallel between those two. Yep. So Chief goes to grab this thing because crazy alien object, just fucking grab it.
Yeah, let's touch it.
Now, this is where it really, really gets fucking bad here. So this is where they really make some changes and say that Spartan 2's memories were wiped. And when Chief grabs this, he starts to get memories of his family. And that's where it starts to get a little bit funky. All right. And it all activates. And yeah, now there's a flashback that Chief has where he's a kid and he's drawing whatever the fuck that is. So I don't know what's up with that. Maybe that's just like a fake memory. Maybe that's the thing fucking with him, but that does happen. So this elite sees it all go down. They try to kill him. He does a runner, and I'm going to give a big shout out to this elite. He knocks this girl over. He just comes running out and just fucking shoulder charges her and knocks her ass out, which is
she's dead,
lit.
by the way.
Oh, she should be dead. I mean, we saw an elite shoulder charge a car and flip it over.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
But he runs out invisible, so she's not even, bracing herself, and gets fucking cleaned up by this elite. And yeah, it's all good.
No, but she's fine. Yep, she gets up. Yeah. She's like, no, I'm good.
She's fine. She's fine. It's like in like you're talking about the pitch meetings. No, she's fine. Super easy. Barely an inconvenience.
Barely an inconvenience.
100%. Yeah.
And she smacks her head on the rock.
Yeah.
Yep. She's also fine.
Oh, I'm trying to get the frame of it. I can't get it. But yeah, the elite comes running out, shoulder charges her, smashes her head on the rock, and this is when he escapes. And this is when all the Spartans are like, okay, we got this item from whatever the fuck this is. I still think it's going to be a Forerunner item. And they're like, all right, let's get out of it. And then Chief says, I'll go with the girl and you guys go separately. And they're like, that's not how this is supposed to work. That's not protocol. And Chief's like, lol, fuck protocol.
Yeah.
Which I think is very unlike Chief.
Mm-hmm.
The only time I buy that, I can't believe I've been fucking giving props to Halo 5 twice on this stream. The only time I can totally buy that is when it comes down to Cortana, and in Halo 5 when Chief says, nah, fuck you, I'm going to go investigate. That's the only time I could buy it. Now, that's another thing about this, and I said this last night on stream as well. Halo 5 did not turn Chief into... This is the third time I'm defending Halo 5. Fucking hell. Halo 5 sucks. But Halo 5 did not turn Chief into a traitor. It made him go AWOL for a bit. This show, Chief is a fucking traitor by the end of it. Like an outright traitor.
Yep. And the reason, at least we have in Halo 5, for why he goes AWOL is because he has information about stuff that nobody else has. Mm-hmm. He's not he's like, I know what's going on with Cortana. Yes, part of it is for Cortana's sake, but he has information about Cortana and what she's doing and what she could be up to and all of that stuff that nobody else is privy to, and that he knows everybody else would tell him to let go about. So even with that, they at least give reasons, and Chief is still loyal still to the UNSC, even when he's doing his own thing, versus this Chief where he's like, I'm going to straight up disobey orders, and I don't give any reason for it. There's no conversation. Like, we've seen Chief go like, hey, this is blah, 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 or this is something. And he's like, I disagree. Or actually, this is really important, or whatever. And most people, they will just give him the benefit of the doubt because he's a fucking Spartan, and because he's Master Chief. And in this, they're like, here's your fucking, like, they wrote themselves into a box with making the Spartans memoryless, emotionless computers that have to follow every order. not loyal soldiers who have been programmed and loyalized to the point of almost radicalization to the UNSC. There's a difference, you know.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
They did.
I'll be right back. Go on.
Okay.
Yeah.
The like you're saying, what the Spartans are supposed to be is an enhanced human with with a deep loyalty is at their core.
Yeah.
Like the cause, all of that is at their core. You can't do that when you completely remove emotion and individuality, because they have to strike that chord in. That's why not everybody can be a Spartan. It's not because they're not strong enough or because they're not durable and that's not.
There's a lot of factors that go into being a Spartan, and it's not just your physical traits. It's also hey, are you loyal? Can you be trained? Are you going to follow orders? Are you going to follow what we're saying to you? And all of that stuff.
Do you believe in the cause? Do you believe in what we are doing in the mission?
Well, and the fact is, they don't lie to Spartans, because if a Spartan does figure out they've been lied to, you'll lose their loyalty, and they're really fucking dangerous.
Yeah.
You can't let Spartans just go off the cuff. But in this, trying to make them robotic, machines that don't ever have memories and don't have access to their original memories and stuff like that. It's actually better for you to remember that you were a child, remember you had a family, and not care because these other Spartans are your family and the UNSC is your family, than it is to do what they're doing here, which is we locked all his memories away, and now that he's remembering, that's really bad for us, and we could lose his loyalty. It's well, of course you're going to lose his fucking loyalty. But how defective is that for a Spartan, that if they get jostled on the head or they touch the wrong technology, they might get their memories back, and then what? You know that they're going to lose their shit,
Yeah, and I think it also kind of takes away from what helps make Spartan 2 good, is the fact that they know what happened to them.
Yep.
And they're they got to make that choice. Halo Legends does that story. The chat brought it up before. I'm blanking on the name. There's that story in Halo Legends about the Spartan that does the runner, because she's I didn't fucking agree to any of this. And that, that's a good character moment. Then she makes her choice at the end. And like they do with Spartan Freeze, the way they picked Spartan Freeze was they looked for people, children whose parents were killed by Covenant or planet got glassed or whatever. So they're these kids are going to grow up hating them. Hey, you want to be a fucking super soldier? So I don't know, we're robbing them of all that stuff. But this is where we're introduced to Dr. Halsey, a very young Dr. Halsey, by the way. I don't think it's possible for her to have the career that she's had as Dr. Halsey while being this young.
But she's a super genius. She's a super duper genius. Super duper duper genius. I'm going to go ahead right now, guys, and apologize on behalf of my sex, on behalf of my gender, on behalf of women. Because apparently, according to pretty much all modern sci-fi and interpretations, adaptations, whatever, women are the reason that we are in a totalitarian Mad Max universe, because we destroy space, because
Pussy ruins everything. I've said it for years.
Well, no, that's the thing. Yeah, if you want women to be strong and powerful and in charge of everything, when things are not good, that's also their fault. You can't just go, well, if this man wouldn't have done blah blah. It's no, bitch. If you're running things, it's your fault. That's how it works. If you put a man in charge and shit goes sideways, guess what? It's his fucking fault. That's how the chain of command works.
That is exactly how it works. Doesn't matter if you're subordinate. It doesn't matter if your subordinate was insubordinate and was the reason that the convoy hit the daisy chain, or that, your position was given out or whatever.
Yep.
Yeah, he'll get punished. If he doesn't die or she doesn't die, they'll get punished.
But guess what? It's on you.
Yep. You have to go face the court. You have to be why couldn't you control your Marines? Why couldn't you control your people? Where was the breakdown of command? That is my biggest. Now that we're kind of getting into it, there is no structure in this. In this show, there's no way. At one point, I forget her name is now, but she's the one that they're it's her daughter. They're like, we're gonna have her try and talk to the
race swapped Miranda Keys.
Yes,
Yeah.
thank you. But is that her? Is her name Miranda?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
Miranda Keys.
It
That's
is-
Miranda
okay.
Keys 100%.
It is Miranda. All right, I couldn't remember. I just looked at it and I was like, who
Also,
is?
did you
Fucking
notice-
nothing like Miranda Keys. That's why you
as
didn't
an-
realize.
as an
And they
aside
turned into a
too-
doctor.
Yeah, well, we'll get to that in a second. I know we'll get to the keys in a second. so.
Yeah, but so here's the thing. Her father is not going to come down and let her know that an Article 72 has been put in place. Until the
Oh,
Article
man.
72, like he's never going to tell her. He's never going to tell her.
Or if he does tell her, it's after it's already been done.
Yep, exactly.
Mm.
He's not going to it's called loose lips sink ships, and that is a thing for a reason, and there's no way that Keys is going to come down to tell his daughter. He's not going to tell her what's going on in the upper levels of the UNSC. Are you kidding me? That is a
Okay.
massive breach of protocol and clearance. Like,
Pretty
what are you
bad.
doing?
Also, I don't know if you guys heard this or not. This is a thing too that you probably didn't notice though. Her dad is not the admiral; he's a captain right now.
Yes, I did
Like-
notice that.
Yeah. Well, I'm like, okay, interesting.
But
take.
he died a captain in Halo Combat Evolved, but it doesn't make sense in this timeline if she's the age
Yes.
that she is.
Exactly.
How does that work, man? Because that's their mum. Because Miranda's their daughter.
Yep.
Because
Uh-huh.
Jacob Keys, in the old timeline, he was a bit of a sweet talker. He was a bit of a sweet
Mhm.
talker, and he spent quite a bit of time with Dr. Halsey over here. Dr. Halsey's actually one of my favorite characters. I really like the way that they used her in proper Halo. She's like, what you did was very, very, very unethical and kind of inhumane, but if you didn't do it, we'd all be dead.
Mm.
So there was always that kind of balance with her, like you're kidnapping children and turning them into super soldiers against their will. And she's like, yeah, but we'd all be fucking dead if I didn't do that. We would have lost the war. So there's always that where,
Very
And I
much
feel
ends
of all the
justify the
char-
means.
yeah, pretty much, yeah. I feel of every character in this episode, I think character-wise, not visual-wise, but character-wise, I feel she was the most accurate. The way, like, she's still, like, kind of
Yes.
defies orders when she gets told to shut down the project. She's like, yeah, cool, I'll get right on that. Fucking lol.
Yeah.
But she's just too young. I that's just my thing with this character. She's way too young to be Halsey at the year 2552.
100%. Yep. I like her. I like the concept of her. I like that she feels very much like this bitch. I very much like that she feels like Miranda, or I mean not Miranda, wow, Halsey, and like the shady fucking like mad doctor shit and stuff that she had going on. But yeah, but also once again, yeah, her age. And then when they start really getting into it again, it's like as soon as you scratch like beyond the surface, you're like, wait a minute, what?
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
So this is when we're introduced to I can never pronounce her name, Paragononsky. Now the way they used her character, I felt was completely wrong, because she's Oni, Office of Naval Intelligence. Now they are known for doing a lot of fucking shady shit. Now, if someone was gonna put a hit out on this little girl, it wouldn't be UNSC, it would be Oni.
Mm-hmm.
But no, this one says that UNSC done it. So they kind of used her character all wrong, in my opinion. All she does in this is go up to Dr. Halsey and be like, well, there's 150 dead human insurrectionists. I'm like, well, aren't we kind of against insurrectionists? So, okay, why should we
If I
really
may,
care?
have you seen so when I saw her, have you seen The Expanse at all?
No.
You've not seen The Expanse. Okay. Well, for me, this person looks to me, they were like, oh, well, The Expanse did it, so we have to do it too. What do you think of that picture there, Lethal?
Oh shit!
That's a
Yeah. Yep.
Now go back to your screen, like, guys. There's
It's a thing. It's become it's like a constant thing nowadays. Yeah. Yep. It's just like, oh yeah, by the way. Yep.
Mm-hmm. And the thing is, it makes sense so that character that we saw from The Expanse, she's the UN Deputy Undersecretary of Earth, right? It makes sense if you know the lore about the Expanse at all. But what this character comes off at, whose name neither Lethal nor I can pronounce, I'm just gonna call her Para. We'll just call her Para.
Margaret's her first name. I can remember that.
Okay. So Margaret just sort of looks like a discount deputy undersecretary Avasarila. Like they're trying so hard to be so diverse that they are stereotyping characters, and specifically women in power. And I don't know how much
with this, like in like Halo continuity, like what we have on screen right now is like two of the most unethical humans in the entire history of humanity.
Yep.
Like they did some shady shit, and I mean she's Oni, so fuck yeah. But the way the show uses her is she went from someone that was gonna, you know, go above and beyond and do some stuff like was just gonna make her like fucking Satan herself. They took that instead. Just put a fucking hit out on a child. That's as bad as it gets. And kill Chief. That's the two things she does. I felt like they've greatly underutilized her character in this. When you have these two are kind of like competitors in a weird way, or no, I'd say rivals is a better word.
Yes,
They're always
there's
kind
no
of like
way
going back and forth with each other.
There's no way she's going to show up to. She's not going to come to Dr. Halsey's office and then tell Dr. Halsey that she's going to kill one of her Spartans to her face.
No.
Yeah, she'd be a bit more sly about it.
Yeah, there's no way. Like Halsey would be like, okay, so we're putting a hit out on the girl, and Master Chief 117 be like, you know, as long as the way she would word it would be something more along the lines of, if you can control your Spartan, we can talk about it, or something of that nature.
Yeah, but to shut down like a Spartan too with a Spartan, knowing how valuable they are as an asset. That's the other thing too. If you know the lore, you know that like Spartans are not just throwaway things, like assets. They're extremely valuable to them, and they're extremely valuable to Halsey because they're kind of like her children in a way. I mean, they're not, but you know what I mean? Like, so the fact is, like, the way that they kind of just throw this out there and like trying to like make this drama between people, it's like, come on, dude. Like, no, like Halsey felt like Halsey until you started getting into all the stupid, like the stupid politics of everything. And then it starts to feel really weird. Like, it's like, okay, well, I guess once again, it's like, oh, Halsey kind of acts like Halsey until you scratch a little bit below the surface and it has no depth behind it. It's not, you know, yeah.
She seemed like my impression from Halsey in the series was that she seemed distracted. Like she had something better to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So this pretty much the scene is just her being like, oh yeah, fucking 150 dead insurrectionists, and somehow this is a bad thing for us, but we can use it to cut your funding. And she tells her what did she say? I wish I could put subtitles on. She said something about nuke the Cortana project, I think is what she says. And Halsey agrees to do it, but she's really like, nah, not gonna happen.
Yeah.
Dude, yeah, this guy gets it. I can't read it here. Was the reason Spartan Freeze existed? Yes, that is true, and was far more ethical faulty than Halsey's programming was. That's what I was saying. Like the two of them, you have like the two like unethical people in a room arguing. Like you could have done so much more with that. Instead, she's just there to fucking.
Well, that's the thing. That's the thing. Like we're discovering, I think, and that's why I think everybody's frustrated. Is there's such little depth to this show. It's lacking so much depth that, like, yes, Halo are video games, but even just in the video games, without reading the books, there's a ton of lore. And there's a ton of shit going on, and there's a lot of like nuance to things, and there's a lot of plot threads playing out that maybe we're not fully privy to, but that's because we're playing as Master Chief. In this, you get to see behind the curtain, but behind the curtain is literally like a shallow 1 foot wall where somebody's hiding behind it going, ha, I'm doing this thing. And you're like, okay, not this elaborate, plan of this massive conglomerate of like military might that is the UNSC. It's like, it just feels like a bunch of people in rooms talking about shit with no actual like stakes involved other than like, I might get in trouble if I do this. You know,
There's a lot of
shit.
oh
Oh shit, the big one. This is the big moment.
when can I just say that I have never this looks ridiculous.
Officially it looks shit.
I don't know how else to say this. I have never been like, guys, the fact that I'm saying that Doom did it better is not a like that is probably the worst insult that I can come up with.
Yep. 100%.
Oh, anyway, let's fucking burn through this. So we have the Prophet of Mercy, who is kind of number 2 in the whole thing. He comes in to now. This is in High Charity. Keep that in mind. This is inside High Charity to talk to. I'm gonna call it, man. I reckon she's actually the one calling the shots the whole fucking time. This chick. We have the Forerunner ship there that Truth uses in Halo 3 to go to the Ark, and the way like they have this conversation about what went down with Chief, and they still refer to him as Demon. They said it was the Demon, and they talk about the elite that survived.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, yeah, bring him to me. And I reckon that that's going to end up being the arbiter of this whole thing.
You might not be wrong. I mean,
Probably not.
But this makes, oh my God, look at that.
Dude, he looks terrible.
That. It looks like something from Dark Crystal.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it's an insult to Dark Crystal.
That's an insult to Dark Crystal. I mean, Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so they're having this whole conversation. I've ranted many a time about how I think the concept of a human being part of the Covenant just does not work. It goes against everything that my silver timeline. So I think what they want to do is they want her to go get the artifact because they know that she'll be activated because the prophets all know that everything they're saying is fucking bullshit. And that way they can use it all. But honestly, I think this is the worst scene of the whole episode by far. Yeah. This just destroys everything. Like in one scene, you have wiped out everything that makes it all fucking. This is the worst part, actually, is the fact that she talks down to him.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I think, is she really like the main villain? And is she going to have some moment where halfway through she goes, oh, no, I was just playing the Covenant the whole time and I'm the real hero and I'm going to tear him down.
You know that's what's going to happen. It's going to be her and freaking bowl cut, dread haircut girl. They're going to team up and they're going to save everybody.
Yeah. So I can't believe, man, these episodes really shouldn't be 30 minutes, man, to be honest with you. There's not much fucking happens. So Master Chief tells a joke. She goes, do you eat anything? He goes, I eat nuts, bolts, and microchips because Master Chief's a fucking comedian now. And it turns out that she knows Master Chief because Master Chief killed her dad. No, sorry, her mum. Master Chief killed her mum in a UNSC.
Oh, look, it's not Miranda.
Yeah.
Race swapped Miranda. We have race swap Miranda, who, what do they say in this? She's in charge of Covenant relics or some shit.
Yeah, research and relics.
Yeah, then there's Bizarro.
She's like, I'm helping the real world.
Hey, random stranger with blood all over your face. Do you want to be best friends? And then maybe we can talk about like how to get the other insurrectionists to talk about the Covenant. And she's like, how about I tell them that you lied and it was all made up? And I'm like, I wouldn't want to talk to this bitch at all about anything. Like
this chick with her bad haircut and her bad they're trying to make her look like a badass in that scene. And she doesn't. She comes off as this does she realize guys, I don't know that the gravity of what she has just stated has hit anyone. She's willing to lie to the rest of the insurrectionists, all of them, and say that the Spartans did it and leave them to the mercy of the Covenant, that there either is just USNC propaganda or are they real and you've been fighting them for years and been like, whatever that plot hole, right? She is willing to go up and say that the Spartans did it, keep fighting them, the USNC is the big bad, and leave them all to the mercy of the Covenant.
Because
to be glassed. That is what she just said.
Yep.
She's so arrogant and she's so spoiled and she's so hateful that she can't. But then in the next breath, guys, if she realizes that it's Chief that killed her mother, are you kidding? She's sitting right there. She's not going to try and kill Chief. And they're like, oh well, he gives her a gun and you know she tries later. No, she doesn't. She points it at him because she thinks that he tried to kill her on the ship.
Yeah.
Not because he killed her mother.
Yeah.
So you can't go from being this, like, she goes from being willing to sacrifice all of the insurrectionists because of her hatred for the USNC to having a chit-chat moment with Master Chief, the man who apparently killed her mother.
Yeah. I hate you, but hey, we're buddies now because you took off your helmet.
Race swapped.
ridiculous.
Race swapped Jacob Keyes, and Lady Greymaster just said fuck.
I did. This show has made me so angry. I'm
It's so bad.
so angry.
Yeah, even this interaction between those two, I'm like, how like fucking unprofessional and like, yeah.
Race swap Jacob Keyes. And you know what's funny? You look at it and you go, oh, that could be an aged up Johnson. Lol,
Right?
No, we're making him Jacob Keyes because fuck you.
Yeah.
And like I said, like at the start of this, I felt this episode went really out of its way just to outright say UNSC bad. UNSC bad.
100%. Yep. And then even like
makes a joke.
Yeah, I was like, you know what? I'm like, if you getting the benefit of the doubt, which I don't give them at all. Master Chief making a joke, maybe to try to like calm somebody down or something. But the thing is, he has no reason to be loyal to this bitch. She's done nothing. She poses no value to him. Like, it would be one thing if she had found the relic first or something, and that's why she was important to him. Like, if she served some tactical benefit to Chief that other people didn't see, but it's not. She's just some bitch that he found, and then he's like, "Ah, it's fine."
It's very lone wolf. They've gone at the end of this, guys. You realize they went lone wolf and pup, right?
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
They went wolf and cub.
Yep.
Yeah, he's gonna be.
100%.
Master Chief's a babysitter at the end. So they want Chief to kill her because UNSC is putting hits on children now. Not only, but UNSC is. And Chief's like, I don't really feel comfortable killing a kid. So what they want to do is they take the air out of the ship. Okay, so that way they're all unconscious, but they say Chief should. No, they want her to die from a lack of oxygen, but Chief should survive. But, you know, Chief does his thing.
You skipped one real important part, Lethal.
I did.
She asks him if he ever takes his helmet off and why he just follows orders.
Yeah, because she knows better. She knows better. Chief, you should be questioning things. Chief, you should maybe think a little bit more about what's going on.
Like,
Chief's
wow,
like,
you know,
you're right. I need to think more about what I'm doing.
Like,
Chief, dumb.
Doesn't know this girl. She could, for all he knows, it could be a Covenant plant. Maybe that's why she survived. Maybe that's why they didn't go after her, because she was the Covenant plant.
No.
Like,
No
He has
reason.
no
You
reason
don't
to trust her.
Chief doesn't know her from Eve.
Hmm.
But he's now going to he's going to throw away everything, his loyalty, his training, his loyalty, how he works. Like, why? So because this girl asks him a question, and because he touched a Forerunner which we're assuming is a Forerunner relic. Like, there's it doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
No. Also, I love that when the oxygen gets let out of the fucking room, all Chief has to do is turn a dial.
Yeah,
He's
like,
He bypassed the compressor.
there we go. We're good. Yeah, he bypassed the compressor. I bypassed the compressor.
That's all he had to do. He just turned
And then this is when like they're all like, okay, maybe Chief's gone rogue. Maybe he's an outright traitor. He's not following orders to kill the kid. But what I don't understand, right, about this is because from the jump, she kind of wants to kill Chief. She wants to knock off Chief. And I'm like, but if you can turn off the oxygen, right?
And
couldn't you just? I'm assuming you could also just remote detonate it.
Yep.
And I
But
mean,
they want
she's
the
in
relic.
command. She's in command. I guess. Okay. Yeah. No, that's a good point. They want the relic. But then even at the end, when he does a runner, they could just say, fuck the relic and blow her up. So yeah, this is when they're all like, we're going to capture Chief, you know, because they've got remote control of the Pelican. It's coming into land. We're going to capture Chief. Chief's potentially gone rogue. We need to, you know, be prepared to fuck him up. And I don't understand why they would call Silver Team in to apprehend him. I'm sure there'd be other Spartans on planet Reach of all fucking places. So they call in Chief's friends to come and arrest him.
Silver time. It's your silver timeline.
Silver
Lethal.
timeline.
It's your silver timeline. They're the only Spartans. It's just the 4 of them.
You forgot about the silver timeline, Lethal.
I forgot about the silver timeline. And Halsey tells them, she's like, "Lol, fuck them. You know, don't let them capture him." And they're like, "Yeah, this is gonna be lit."
But
and this is the moment. This is the moment. This is the moment. She comes up behind him with the battle rifle. "I finna kill your ass. Fuck you, Chief." And Chief's all like, "You literally couldn't kill me. Like, you can't. It cannot happen. Physically cannot fucking happen.
Yeah,
it's impossible." And he breaks down why it can't happen. But I, Master Chief, must earn trust of Whammon and take off helmet.
Look at his face. First of all, that is clearly a head on a CGI body or a CGI head on another person's body. Like, it doesn't fit.
He's not bald and he's not shaved.
Nope.
That's fucking munted. And I did get corrected on one part. The way he takes off his helmet, I thought was stupid because the way it pops out and then takes off. But John pointed out, goes, "No, that's actually how it would happen in Halo 4. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. But then the thing is Halo 4 takes place after the Covenant War. So,
and we all seem to like a lot of they seem to forgot when they made this costume. The Master Chief has gone through numerous upgrades, and also like sometimes even like alien technology has upgraded his suit. Like it's not like a regular Spartan suit anymore. Like it's not a generic piece of Spartan armor anymore. Like yep. But they forget that. That doesn't matter, you know. Even though that's like easy marketing right there to have him in the original suit and then get upgraded as time goes on, but whatever.
2 seconds ago, she was prepared to fucking kill him.
Yep.
Right? Because you killed my mum.
Yep.
Now he's taking off his helmet. He's like, "Here we go. You can do it." And like, she's going to die anyway if they land. So, fuck it. Just kill him. Just kill him.
Like, do it, bitch. Like, let's go.
Yeah, someone asked me, they were like, "Why is it such a big deal?" This was on Twitter, and they're like, "Why is it such a big deal that Chief takes his helmet off?" And I was like, I had to compose myself because I realized that they were genuinely asking the question. They weren't like, they weren't trying to be snarky. So I had to like take a deep breath, and I was like, okay, even if you disregard the games and like, at no point does Chief take off his helmet unless you go super deep into the lore, and I'm talking like
when he was a kid, really.
Way into the lore. Stuff that it's not common.
Or if he's alone, like completely alone.
Entirely alone. But the reason being is because especially he is about to take on, he sees them. They just cut oxygen to his suit and to his ship. So he knows that he is flying into a hostile situation. Chief doesn't take off his helmet for the reason he just explained to her. So that it is damn near impossible to kill him when he is facing insane odds. Yep. And that can literally happen at any point, especially when he can see the threat in front of him, and it is his own people. He doesn't take his helmet off because there's diagnostics, the computer capabilities, the fact that it makes him virtually...
He even says it in this episode. Goes, it's probably the most important part.
Yeah. Yep. And then they're like, never mind about all that. We're gonna take it off because these actors got to have their day. Like, God in heaven, they all need to take it.
She puts the battle rifle down, slides it to him, and he kicks it back. And then that's when everyone's like, "Oh my God, Master Chief just armed an insurrectionist." I'm like,
she was already armed. Like, she was just armed. Yeah, but no, and that's a good point too with Lady Gravemask. Just saying, like, why would he take off his helmet? Like, okay, maybe takes it off for that moment to be like, "Oh, I'm making a point with you." Put the fucking thing back on.
It felt like this whole ending sequence felt like the end of a season to me.
Yep.
Yeah. Not the end of a first episode. And I mean, if you absolutely have to have this dickhead take off the helmet to show his face, it should have been something that was built up to at a moment earned. This wasn't. This was just fuck you.
Yep.
I also want to point out this is like a little gripe, but it's not a little gripe. It's a gripe. This episode has commercial breaks in it. It straight up has cut to black, nothing in between. Next scene starts like in it.
I didn't even notice that.
Yeah. The one where they go from when he's looking down at her, when they go from the talking about when Holly and Margaret are talking about Chief, and then it cuts to black, and then they're on the ship together. He's looking at her.
Yep.
Or he's
Yeah,
looking down at the
they
relic.
straight up cut to black because there are actual commercial breaks, which tells me too that they're treating this like a TV show like that. They're not treating this like a show with like proper narrative. Because this is the thing. There's actual writing. There's you write a show differently when there's commercial breaks in it than you write a show that doesn't have commercial breaks. There's two different styles of writing because you have to have like a weird point or a weird like thing to leave off with at the end of a commercial break. It's basically like an episode finale or whatever, so that people come back after the commercials.
Yep.
So the fact that they even have commercial breaks in here tells me that the narrative and that they're driving for, that you're constantly going to see moments like this. You're constantly going to see him taking off his helmet or some weird like cliffhanger-y thing, so that when the commercial break is over, you come back from it, which is completely antithetical to what has been happening with television lately with the lack of commercials and stuff, where it's a through narrative of a story building through an episode, like a self-contained story that doesn't require all of the bait and switch and all of the dangling keys and stuff for you to come back after the commercial breaks and stuff. So, yeah.
Wow, I didn't even notice that they cut the black. So we're right at the end of the episode. Chief's Pelican lands. They're going to go apprehend him. And then magically this is what I'll say before. He has a memory of drawing whatever that artifact is. Okay, that's a bit weird.
Yep.
So the artifact activates. By the way, we actually have Captain Keyes order them to fire on Master Chief, which is out there, man.
Yep.
And the artifact activates. It's an EMP. It turns off everything, but it turns on their Pelican, and they're free to fly away. And Dr. Halsey's kind of like, yeah, my Spartan badass. Yep. And then he escapes, and Chief's off to be, the greatest galaxy fugitive babysitter that he absolutely can, with a person with a child who he killed the mother of. So this is going to work.
And did not prevent the death of her father.
Yeah. And that's pretty much it. It's terrible.
This to me, I don't know. When I watched this, I was getting serious Mandalorian vibes.
Well, they said they want it to be their Mandalorian, which is not good.
Oh.
Not good at all.
No.
Oh, man. But we're at the end of the episode. I know you guys got to take off soon. So let me get through this. Big shout out to these two for coming out, and a huge shout out to the chat for being here. Let me know if you guys like this. We'll do it again next week. We might be able to get Disparu on. That nobody guy with a 5 through super chat. If you've seen Edge of Tomorrow, they used motorized wire work to make the suits fast, powerful, and still heavy. That technology is perfect for Spartans. I haven't seen that movie. That's the Tom Cruise one, right?
Yeah, it's actually really fucking good.
Really
good. And Emily Blunt?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard it's really good, that. Thank you, that nobody guy. But nah. We're going with a shitty Mark Ruffalo CGI head on fucking Hulkbuster armor. That's what we went through with this one.
Mm-hmm.
Skinny Krogans.
Skinny Krogans.
Yep.
Last Toxic Matt with a 5 through super chat as well. Thank you, sir. We all know Master Chief's true face is the Mark 4, 5, or 6 helmet. Yeah. Chief should take off his helmet, and it should be another helmet there. That's how it all goes down. But Lady Greymaster, closing thoughts, and if you had to rate it out of 10.
Closing thoughts. Just play the games. Read the books, play the games, enjoy, actually know what the story is. Just stay away from this show. I don't know, guys, I might come back for another panel. I don't know if I want to watch another episode of this. Not even joking. It was that terrible. But if I had to rate it, 1. I'd give, you know what? I'll give it a 2.5 because of the Elite's plasma weapons actually doing what they should do.
Yeah, it probably gets a 0.5 point for that dude getting cut in half. All right, Mike. It turns out your wall is actually blue. Yes, Mike, your turn, sir. Final thoughts and score.
Final thoughts, man. To completely drop the ball like this with as much lore as you have, and you know what? If you're gonna deviate from the source material, you're gonna deviate from what we know and what's already established. At least do a good job of it. But they didn't. It's not a well-written show. The quality isn't very good on the show. There's moments where you can, justify maybe it being decent, but never anything that excels it like that was really good or that was really awesome. The best thing we have is watching people get blown apart by fucking Covenants. And even with that, like we've seen it done better in other places too. If I had to rate it out of 10, it gets a fucking 1. It's not good. I don't want to watch anymore, but I will for you guys so we can keep talking about how bad it is so that you guys don't feel like you need to watch it. I will watch it. Lethal will watch it because we don't want your curiosity to get the better of you.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to tell you, don't watch this show. It's bad. It's not worth your time.
Agreed.
But it makes for entertaining streams.
Sure.
Yeah. So we're going to start to wind this one down. Lady Greymaster, anything you want to promote or plug? And please drop your link in the chat.
Oh, okay. Well, hi everybody. Thank you for having me on, Lethal. Mike, it was a blast to be on stream with you again. It's been a minute.
Yes.
But I really want to plug Lethal and I. We do a Sailor Moon stream where we cover the manga, and it's a blast. I absolutely love it. They are probably my favorite streams ever. And they have, gosh, they're just amazing. Unfortunately on YouTube, you're only going to be able to see volume 5 and up on my channel because Lethal, well, he decided to, get his channel demonetized or like booted, just yeeted from YouTube. But they're on Rumble. Where are they at, Lethal? The other ones?
Odyssey. These are blue light glasses, by the way.
Oh, nice. So but you can find me on Twitter. I hang out over there. Sometimes I'm on Insta, mostly just to talk to Lethal. But I do my Nostalgic Nirvana streams every Thursday. I do them every Thursday night where I talk about books or something that I love. At movies. Lately, it's been mostly movies. Like this past week, I did The Net, and the week before, I did Conspiracy Theory, which you can see on Lethal screen right there. So, and then last night, I talked about my book club and how I got voted out of the island.
I'm behind on my law. You got the boot.
I got yeeted from my book club because I had changed and I was creating strife apparently, and I was like, yeah, okay, whatever you say. But yeah, I go over it. I went over all that yesterday on my stream. But
oh shit, you missed one stream. It turns out she's been kicked out.
No worries. I stated I'm starting my own book club. So it'll be a members only book club. I haven't solidified all of the rules or everything yet, but I basically what'll happen is there'll be members only streams, and then they'll be made public afterwards so that everybody can kind of see what we talked about.
Yep.
So yeah, it's been amazing. This was a terrible show, but this stream was fun. So thank you for having me on, Lethal. I greatly appreciate it.
It was a blast. It was a blast. The chat, you're the guys the guys and gals are the ones that make this worth it.
Yes.
All right, Mike, your turn, sir.
Go check me out on Twitch, twitch.tv/the_epic_Mike. Here's the link. I just dropped it in the chat. Yeah, I'm streaming Elden Ring. It's kind of hot right now, but also I'm going to be doing some like during the day streams at like 11 a.m. Eastern. Probably doing Warzone or some other different games. Hopefully, I'll be able to have more streams with Lethal and Disparu. Those work out real quick. We also had some other people express interest in trying to play Warzone with us and stuff like that. Also, our boy Josiah might be back soon. Might be doing some stuff with him soon. So just kind of keep at the lookout. I got a lot of projects working on behind the scenes. Can't really unveil anything yet. But for the time being, just check me out on Twitch. Yeah, cracked 400 followers last week. You guys, thank you so much. You guys' support has been amazing. So go check me out there. But yeah, also please make sure you subscribe to Lethal, Prince Lethal. Yes. Give him support. Get him back to where he was and beyond. Subscribe to Lady Gravemaster. Give them support as well. Seriously, you guys are awesome. Thank you so much for hanging.
Yeah. Yeah, this has been fun as fuck. Big shout out to the chat. I will drop this link. This is like a gaming YouTube channel I have. I want to see this hit 1K. I put funny videos and clips from streams, and I also do other streams on there. So check that one out. The most recent video is me yelling at Mozza because he said Dumbledore could beat Gandalf in a fight. So I spent,
No, he can't.
Yeah, so I spent 5 minutes on a stream yelling at him. So I just clipped that out and put that up there. But big shout out to everybody in the chat. Thank you so much for coming here. And, well, me and Mike will be here next week. We'll see you, Lady G.
I might be back next week. I don't know. I haven't decided. I'm a woman. I mean, I'm not a biologist, but last time I checked, I was a woman. So.
All right. And we will see you all later. And hopefully this doesn't get taken down by Paramount. Bye.
Oh, sorry. You probably thought I was a drop bear. No, it's me, Bush Barbie. And today, I'm here to talk to you about dingers. Because like you, this bush has seen a cockatoo. Regardless if you like it deep in the bush or prefer it in the outback, make sure you look after your wombat hole. So many critters can get down there. And believe me, it's enough to make your dango go drier than a dead dingo's donger in the desert. So don't do it. Even if he is a fun guy. Yeah, so by all means go wild. Just make sure you take a moment, in the moment, to use a moment, so you can keep the devil out of your tassie and the jelly out of your box.